Right. So we are at day 2. So today we're gonna just continue the fun, and we're gonna learn some more cool tricks and like special effects and stuff, and how to animate things a little bit more advanced. And basically what we're gonna go for today is hopefully make a little bit of a VR music video, and that's what's gonna be everyone's homework for the week, is to take what you learned today and yesterday and just play around on your own time and put together your own scene, your own characters, your own song, and hopefully we'll have everyone running to be able to export to their phone today. If not, we'll troubleshoot and stuff. But yeah, the goal is to do that, and I'm gonna have VR goggles for everyone. They come as part of the boot camp. He already got one. I have 2 more here, and I have more coming on the way. So. And I'll have 2 more for you too, and you'll be using these on your smartphone to do the VR. These are my favorite Google Cardboard Go 4Ds, so they work really well. Yeah, and just make sure everyone has the Google VR package downloaded, and have your project open up here. Since do you have the starter project that we were doing here? Are you on the Slack channel? Yes. So if you go on there, I just put the Unity package for this, what we did yesterday. Yeah, he needed it too. So for you, I would just recommend just start a new project and just import that package. All right. So this package that we downloaded, Google VR for Unity, is going to contain all of the code that Google basically put together for all of the Google Cardboard stuff. So the head rotation, the double eye, pretty much everything you need to do to use it for VR. So you'll notice that these files are a type of Unity package. Maybe on your computer you don't have the file type showing up. Oh, excuse me one sec. What's up? Oh, could you grab it? Yeah. All right. Yeah, Justin's coming down. All right. So since I have my file extensions showing, I could see that it's a Unity package. So Unity package, you can think of it. It's almost like a special type of file. It's almost like a zip file for Unity specifically. It can contain pretty much everything that you need to put a project, like sound files, textures, videos, scripts, prefabs, scenes, pretty much everything that you do in Unity, you can export it as a Unity package. And then when you send that Unity package to another machine, whether it's a Mac, Windows, or whatever, it'll convert everything automatically to work for that target platform. So it is usually the preferred mode of kind of distributing these little kind of packaged up things. So for example, like Google VR has a Unity package. So to import a Unity package, all you have to do is just double click it, and the import dialog should open up in your current Unity project. If you don't have Unity open, it will open Unity for you, and it'll show you the same thing that we were doing with the asset store. Remember, when you pull something off the asset store, it shows you this menu. What do you want to import? You want to import everything, so everything's good. You just click import, and it will make a Google VR folder in your project. So everyone just go ahead and do that. Import Google VR. So we're just gonna basically get our project ready to do VR, and then once we have all of the configuration stuff out of the way, then we can do the fun stuff and start working on our scene again. So it might take a few minutes, so I'll just give it a sec to do that. And yeah, we touched up on a little bit of the keyframe animation yesterday and character animation, but we're gonna go more in depth about that today. Yes, I just import the.
We can import it now or on it.
Oh, I don't think it is yet. So yeah, so go to your downloads where file. Yeah, so now it'll do it. Yeah, so that's that one to import, and then the other one was the Google VR package. So if you just go on Chrome on Google and just Google Google VR for Unity, and then it should be the first result. Yeah, that one. Just go there, and then all the way at the bottom. There's no difference between them. Oh, it's right there. Google VR SDK 330. Yep. And then download SDK at the bottom. Yeah. So that'll be the same type of file, and then once that's done, import that as well. Let me see. Well, then you did get your project. Right?
Yeah, I found it. I think I have.
We were just thinking this.
No, so double click it or click it. Yeah, and then it will do that, and then it will open Unity, and then you import. Yeah. Hey. So, oh, sweet. Good.
Brendan is a little bit late. He has something to pick up.
All right, cool. There's that one for you, sir. Come to Bootcamp. Did someone be signing up, but he didn't even know? Like, you get a free VR goggles. It's good. Did you get a pair?
A pen?
A pair?
Oh, yeah.
Goggles? Goodies, goodies. It's Christmas time. So, you don't have to play with those now. You can check it later. Yeah, so have your Google VR package imported. For those that just came in, yeah, you want to just get them up to speed, or just have everything installed. Yeah, I have. If he needs the files, I have it right here. It's a class files folder.
We also get codecs and the other thing.
I have the Android Studio, Eclipse, all that stuff. So if you don't have it, it's on there.
So what's on here?
Yeah, it's class files folder. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll just keep going on ahead here. So now before we kind of start making our VR music video, I wanted to show you just a cool Unity feature. It's a way to make these scenes more dynamic and move around. Like we played around with physics a little bit, and physics is cool because you can have these kinds of environments and they react to physics. But what if we want our environment to not only react to physics, but we want to animate it specifically? Like what if instead of doing these things just roll off, what if I want to have like a door here that opens and then the balls roll out, for example, not based on physics but on some more unusual way. So if you're gonna just have your physics environment, whatever you kind of have it set up, and wherever your balls are kind of going, if you could just put like another cube there to just kind of block them. So just go ahead and take your scenes and just kind of block off some of these physics objects as if they're just have a barrier. Something like this. So say now my balls are just kind of here. And the goal of what I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to want to pull this up and then it's going to release them. So that's what we're going to just do a little bit of an experiment with right now. So yeah, just go ahead and create your simulation in a way that you're blocking these spheres. So just do that as a little exercise right now. For fun and for a little bit extra, if you want to do it, grab another texture for this.
I think someone's downstairs.
Oh, someone's downstairs? Yeah, you.
I can go back.
Oh, you want to go? Yeah. How do you know?
Because she texted me and she
Oh.
also emailed her guys.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so if you just want, you can also go ahead and just Google something like, I don't know, like, I'm just going to do like a wood texture. But whatever you want for your so-called gate or whatever. It's not necessary, but if you just want to kind of differentiate them a little bit, I'm going to go with this one. And I'm just going to pull my texture on here. Yeah, there we go. So now I kind of have a little bit of a differentiation here. So, yeah, so just go ahead and kind of make that, and I'll show you how the next part works. We already have the scene. I think it's the best scene. Yeah, if you just double click it, I think that should be the one that I have. Don't save. Yeah, there you go. So you're in the same place. Yeah, so it's at the Slack, we have in the general. Yeah, right there is, if you want to open up the same project that I have. Yeah, so I have it right there. Yeah, so when you just open up your project, that, and also I need you to download Google VR, the Unity. You just Google VR for Unity.
I wonder how I can extend this window out without affecting.
Well, you can pull it out, so the project window.
Yeah, because it's like I can't. I want it to be long, but
Yeah, you could. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Show you the picture down there. Is there a way I can flip this? Yeah.
Yeah, if you want, just go to the default layout again. I'm not sure if and then save the beginning view and click on it here. And that should, yeah. If ever in doubt, just over here is the default layout. If you ever need to bring it back. I don't think you can pull that. Yeah. Well, go into assets. Just click the folder. Yeah. You have Google VR? Yeah, you're all good. You could just, do this, what I was doing. You're already doing it, right? That's the...
cool. Yeah, you can actually get it.
Oh no, you have, it has a Google VR folder. Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, you don't see it there, yeah. Yeah, that's for later. Yeah, so just do the door, like how I did. Does the rubber go? Yeah. Hey. Yes. Is that like a scan?
Look, I was there for 10 minutes. Really? I was texting you, like, can you please send me like, you texted me no idea before. Well, since you sent me like, coming.
Yeah, it's very small.
That's what I said, we, you know, the group, like,
So I have a pair of goggles for you. They come as part of the group Bootcamp, so you can use that for the VR stuff that we're doing.
You have all the files downloaded? You have all the files downloaded?
So I'm gonna also put it on Slack's the link to Google VR. So yeah, everyone should have the Google VR for Unity. You can Google it like this, just Google VR for Unity, or so I'll just go to the download link here. And I'll put this right here in Slack if you need the link. Okay. So all we're doing right now is we're just setting up this scene like this. Now, what I'm going to show you for those of you that do have it open, and then I'll just show you how to do this, and then you kind of can play around with it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do keyframe animations. Now, keyframes are basically, you know, say I want it to start here, I make a frame here, and then I make another keyframe here, And then what an animation keyframe will do is basically it'll animate between the 2 points. So I'll just show you how this works, and you'll see how simple it is. And you can animate anything. You can animate transforms, you can animate rotations, scales, you can even animate components, which is a big one, but that will come later and stuff. So here's how you do it, right? So all you do is you open window right here, and you find the one that says animation, not animator, animation. Animator was what we were using yesterday. We want animation today. And you should open something like this, like a timeline. So do that, and have your object here selected. Let's just do a quick rename of this object just so that we can kind of keep track of it. Just name it something like door or whatever, and I'll get you back up to speed in a second. But basically all we did was we just set up our physics world, and we just set up we just cloned the wall and made it so that it blocks our objects, and then when you press play, they don't roll down there. And what we're going to do is we're going to animate it to do this basically. So just set up your scene basically to be ready to do that, and I'll come around and get you up to speed. So yeah, all you do is you select the object that you want to animate, and then with this animation window open, you'll notice it'll say, see, I named my object door. So you can name your object by clicking here, and then in the inspector, that's where its name lies. So you should rename it to something more appropriate instead of just cube. And yeah, when you have the object that you want to animate selected, you'll notice the animator will say to begin animating door, create an animator and an animation clip. So all you have to do is click this create button. That's all you have to do. And it'll open up this file browser. It'll ask you to save the animation somewhere. So you can just save it right there and call it something like, door animation or something like that. Whatever you want. And then you'll have the timeline ready to go pretty much. So, and I'll show you just how to do a quick keyframe, and then I'll come around and help you all out. So this timeline, you can pull it by clicking here on the numbers. See this? This is how you pull. You scrub across the timeline basically. So the most important button here is this record button. Do you ever see this record button? Make sure it's clicked. So it's kind of like grayish. And once you have that clicked, make sure you have your object clicked as well, and move it to its starting position. So if your starting position is already here, you just nudge it just a little bit. Just nudge it, and you'll notice that 2 keyframes get created right there from that movement. Now, the same thing you can do for a rotation, and you'll notice it adds another keyframe just for rotation. But right now, we just want to move. We don't want to rotate. Very simple. But then if you want to take it a step further, you can make the most elaborate, like Rube Goldberg machine that you want and stuff. But yeah, for now, this is all we're going to do. So just 1 keyframe here for your starting point. Then you move the timeline to, I don't know, say like 15 here, 20. And then you move this thing up and create the second keyframe few seconds later basically. And now you'll notice that when I scrub this timeline, look what it does. See that? So you basically just set the starting point and the ending point, and it will just animate it like that. If you press play here, you can see how fast that happens. It's probably too fast. So if you want to slow it down, you could change this samples number right here, make it something like smaller, and then it'll do it slower. I'm gonna make the samples like 10 or something like that, or even slower, like 1. One is very slow. You can always zoom out the timeline as well if you need to. So I made mine very slow. And now if I'm happy with this, I can just Control S, just save. I can even close this timeline. I don't need it anymore. If you want to keep playing with it, you can keep it open. And now if I press play, it will do that. So it'll slowly just start inching up, and then it will release the balls and it will go. Just like that. And once it's done with the animation, it'll just replay it from the beginning, basically.
How do you get to not move?
To not loop, you probably would go into the animator and just double click the animation and uncheck loop time there.
Okay.
I think that's where it would be. So yeah, so I'll come around and help you out. Alright, it's pretty straightforward. So just try play around, make for a couple objects. Try to do it and see if you can make like an interaction between a few of them. So yeah, make it bigger. I would recommend just hold the timeline bigger. You want it to be really long. So you can, yeah. Yeah, and then push it down a little bit so you can see the scene. Yeah, just like that. And now pull the object. So yeah, pull the time a little bit forward and then pull the object where you want it to be at that point in time. And now if you let go and you pull that timeline, scrub it, just pull it up on the red line there, yeah. And then pull it left and right. You notice how you get it? So it's keyframes. So every time you you move the timeline and then you set a new position, it will try to animate its way to that position basically. And then you can make, see, and then you can make multiple complex like movements. Yeah, so this is the most easiest way to animate something in Unity in a specific fashion without using any code whatsoever. You can animate, your characters to certain places. You can animate, environments or anything else. It's just a very simple way to do it. Yeah. So, yeah, and then whatever object you want to animate, you have to create the animation clip for it, right? When I So if you want to slow it down, remember how you did it. So, well, you can do it that way too. But if you want to just kind of, if you have a lot of points, it might be really hard to do that. So you can change the samples, make it smaller. The smaller the number is, the faster it goes. But that'll be really slow. No, just change that, and then you can press play to preview it. I think you have to press enter maybe when you change the samples. Yeah, now it's. So you can now scale it. So you can use the mouse wheel. You can scroll out of this to make it like, to make it to shrink. So scroll down. Yeah, keep scrolling, a lot. Yeah, keep going. And it's all the way over there. But see how slow it's going now? Yeah, so the samples number is where you kind of regulate the speed that it's going at.
Yeah, how do you move the cursor?
So you move the cursor by grabbing the top part right there. Yeah. So that's where you grab. Yep. That's how you scrub the line. And then you set your second position of the object that you want. Yep. And now if you scrub it, so you just you see that? Yep.
Yeah. If I want two things to move at once, can you do it under one?
No, you have to do them in the
Separated.
yeah.
Oh.
How do you listen? How do you look automatically?
It already does it. Yeah, it already does it. So I'll show you how to make it not loop, because some people were asking. You got it right there. So use mine. Use the VR Bootcamp network. I set up another one. You want to just turn off the Wi-Fi, turn it on? Oh wait, why is it? Turned it off.
What, the TWS?
No, my hotspot. I made a hotspot. I Ethernet to the wall, and I made a hotspot for my laptop. So that should work. VR Bootcamp. Will it show up now? What? Yeah, VR Bootcamp. The password VR Bootcamp. Oh, you didn't type it right? Just VR Bootcamp. No cap. Yeah, I see you just got it. device is connected. Alright, yeah, and then if you don't want it to loop, so notice now how this object, right? If you click it, you see how it has an animator, just like how we did for the characters, remember? And you see it already has a controller already ready to roll. So that's what happens when you use the animation window, is when you create that on, it basically creates everything. It creates the animation and the animation controller already for that object. So all you have to do, and you can find it here, mine is called door, since that's the name of my object, or if you just click on the object, you see right here, the animator. So if you just double click the controller, you enter this. Now remember this from what we were doing yesterday? So it's the same thing basically. It's anything that to do with animations is kind of done in this window. And see, that's my door animation. Remember, that's the file that I saved and I called it door animation. You might have called it something else. So here, if I double click that, see loop time is on right here. So if I just uncheck the loop time, and that should work. Then it should just stop up there.
So the name that you created was named the animation?
Yeah. When you create the animation, it kind of asks you, what do you want to call this animation? It goes really fast. So if you want to change the speed, the samples right here. So the samples, make them smaller. And so just to save it. Yeah, so now see how I stretched it? See that? How it's like really long now? The whole timeline has been lengthened. So yeah, and then if you want to just see the timeline better, I don't know if yours has. Yeah, so you can just zoom out. Since it's very long, we made it very take the risk, and then there's your keyframe. See, now it takes much longer to go across. That's controlled by the sample right there. You would just move it much higher on that keyframe.
Oh no, that's the animation controller.
And wherever you put it in the scene, at that point in the timeline is where it will try.
So what's the difference between controller and
So clip is part of the controller. So in the controller you can like control this and that's what you can do.
Okay.
So yeah, just you remember the difference, then you would.
You guys know.
And then
Oh yeah, so you have to
something that you drag into
your object in an animator.
the
Double
clip
click
like
the controller.
is inside the
And then that's now you're in the animator. That's the scene, that's the animator. So you
Yeah.
double click that.
That's your controller, and then
And
you
that's
usually have
what
like
it is.
one
And now
clip,
you can
and
reuse
you can create like a lot of
and you should be able to.
Okay. But I have like the ball up. But at the back side is right.
What do you mean?
I want to
Using
like,
rotate,
say,
yeah.
this up and then on the ball.
Oh, then you need to create a new controller for the ball. Because one controller is only for one object.
So now, yeah, so if you go in there,
Yeah. Yeah, if you want this to have a different movement,
well,
you can
and
create
the
different
controller.
clips. Yeah, you can create like different kinds of
Do the
like
animator up,
this
down,
clip makes it move up, you can create another clip and then you can like
Wait, what
this
was
way,
that?
then you
Double
put two
click it.
clips, you
Yeah,
can see that,
yeah.
and then you move up, then it will
The one
this
needs to
way.
be higher to.
That's how it goes.
Just the
But
end
you
of the
don't
animation
have to
is
like
to
think
go
about that right
It
now.
should just
So
stop
we'll
at the end of
If you want the
that
balls to
later.
go through, right?
Yeah, but so I guess I need to change the balls to move.
So then all these
No,
are
we want the door to go higher, right, so it falls underneath.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, because once the door just stops there.
yeah, you just need to make the key in the keyframe. You just need to move it up more.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what you're trying to
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Looks like it's.
Right. This is just a
Looks like
little
it's scaled.
exercise that we're doing.
Yeah, I did that
It's
initially.
just a little practice for
But
the
I did that
keyframe.
too.
You're doing the animation.
Oh,
Oh, then just pull up
Yeah, but
my
then I
project.
did it
I
intentionally.
have a
I
package
scaled
up on
and
Slack. Yeah, just if you, no, you don't have to do that. What code can do?
Yeah, I just was trying to move the cursor.
Yeah, just go into the Slack, and all the way at the bottom is the Unity package. Yeah, if you haven't been advised yet.
Well, I guess I can do that and then move it up higher.
Yeah, I have the whole project right there.
But then why is it turning red? No, no.
Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's still not going right. This guy's going.
yeah, you just need to make it probably go up more. So now this is very simple, right? So you could kind of already see how this could be used in many different ways. I'm just going to show you another way you can use this. So you know, if you just make, I don't know, say one of these barrels, for example. If I grab the bottom barrel and I open the animation window, now you don't have to follow this, but just if you like, you can. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. See, now I have to create an animation clip for that barrel now. So every object that you click, if it doesn't have an animation yet, you create it basically. So you know, if I click this wall, see, it already has an animation, so there it is. I can edit it, see? But if I click a barrel, it doesn't have an animation because we haven't created it yet. So it asks you to create it. So if I grab like this bottom one and I create an animation, I call this one barrel animation or something like that. Very important. Everyone should, and I do this all the time, name your objects appropriately. Okay, very used to this. It's a matter of habit. But if you have a good naming convention, it's much easier for you to find things later. Because if you're just doing new object and new animation and cube 1 and cube 2 and 3, when you have like a complex project, it'll be a mess to know what you're talking about. So start early with getting a good naming convention, and you'll go far with that. So yeah, same thing here. I just make sure I turn on the record button. So the record is where you're actually recording every movement. Now be careful with the record button. Don't move things around in your scene while the record button is on if that's not what you're trying to do. But yeah, so having the record button on, you'll also notice that this up here turns red. It's just to kind of remind you that you're kind of recording stuff right now. So now what I'm going to do is, instead of moving this barrel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it. So I'm going to do its initial scale keyframe, and then I'll go up a bit, you know, I'll make the samples lower so it's slower. And then I will scale this barrel up like so. And then now if I press play, you'll notice that that also is a possibility. You see that? Very cool, right? And it works with physics because it's also scaling the actual collider around the barrel as well. So very fun stuff you could do with this. So I'm just showing you that. You can also do rotation and stuff. You can even animate color. But we're not going to get into that just yet. But just know that this is possible. Yeah, I feel like that's important to know. So let's see here. All right, so since we already kind of did this dancing stuff, right? How about we do our first special effect, right? So, and now this is going to be really fun. We're going to create, I don't know, let's just start with one for now. So let's say we want to create like a fireball or something like that maybe you can use in your music video, or you know, just some sort of special effect. But let's go for fire right now. So the way that fire works and other kind of effects that generally tend to animate and stuff is they use something called particle systems. So it's called particle system. Now, particle systems have been used for years to basically create a very simple mode of like this. So particle system starts here, and basically it starts emitting kind of like these little objects. And now these objects are actually textures. So they are just like, you know, we were doing textures of a wall, textures of grass and stuff. We're going to be animating basically textures of fire like this. And they're going to have transparency. So you're going to see kind of how this looks. But you can basically decide the direction that these go. You can decide their speed, how long they're visible for, their lifetime, and all sorts of other things. So using these parameters, I'll show you how easy it is to make something like a fire just from scratch. So no asset, nothing, just something we pull off of Google, right? So here's how you do it. So the first thing I want you to do before we do any of this stuff, just to keep our project organized and clean, it's starting to get a little messy here. So I'm just gonna make all of these textures that you see, and you can select multiple just by holding Control or Shift. Yeah, just by holding Control. On Mac it might be Command, I'm not sure. Just grab all of the pictures, all the texture pictures, and put them in the materials folder. Just so it kind of, they're not all here. Just put them in the materials folder. Just makes it a lot easier. So did you get the project? What's that? Just open the test scene. Yeah. Version to new. Can we name it something else? Yeah, just I don't know the material. And just like import a new project, just start a new project and import the package. It should definitely not have any problems then. So everyone's got their project nice and cleaned up. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Google and we're gonna look for Fire PNG. Just like this. Now the reason why we're using PNG is because PNG is typically the most used format for transparent images. You always see like your company's logo or whatever is a PNG file. So the same thing, we want a nice picture of fire that has the transparency around it. Now, depends on the effect that we're going for, which one we will use. I'm gonna try to avoid using one that's too much like fire. I kind of want more that's more like a fireball. So something like this, something like this, something like this is better than something like this. Okay? So make sure it's kind of like circular, or that the entirety of it is like contained and then there's a transparency around it. Not like this where it has these hard edges. We don't want that. So we want something like this, something like this, something that just ends where the picture edge ends, basically. This one looks pretty good to me, so I'm gonna take this one. Now you can choose whichever one you want, but look for one that looks more like an explosion, more like a fireball than an actual like campfire. So grab a texture that you like, and just also make sure it's transparent. You can usually see that, in the thumbnail or whatever. And once you have your texture, pull it into Unity. It might show up looking a little weird like this. That's fine. It's because it's just approximating the color behind the transparency, so don't worry about that. Did you do a new project? Yeah. Why is there no grass? What with that? You did a new project and you just pulled package, you just opened the package. Oh, you're using Unity 5.5. You're going to need Unity 5.6 for today. Yeah. So the VR Bootcamp network should be pretty fast. So just go to the Unity website and download it. So yeah, I'll get you back. You get it back. Okay. Everyone's got their fire texture. Good. Fire texture. Yeah, you just need to get. You know how to go back to the. You have a very interesting layout.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, cool.
Be careful with one like that because it might not work for the effect that we're doing. Yeah, try to find one that's more like a fireball. Maybe like that part of it would work or something like that. Does anyone want popcorn? Something to munch on? No? Alright. Can't say I did not. So, now what we want to do, so we have our fire texture, we need to create a fire material. So, what I want you to do is I want you to right click here in the project. Now, up until now, we've been kind of creating materials automatically just by dragging the texture onto an object. Now, that works, but it's the best way to actually create materials is to create, right here, right click, create material. So material, it starts out empty like this, it's just like a white sphere. Name this material something like fire. And basically, a material is where you've already kind of seen probably so far, where we put the normal maps, we put the regular texture, we tweak the smoothness, basically all of the kind of settings of the surface is contained in the material. So it could be smooth, it could be reflective or whatever, and it could have multiple textures. So in this instance, we want to create a special type of material that's going to be used in a particle system. So the way that you do that is we don't want to use this standard. You see where it says standard? So that's called a shader. So the standard shader, usually for all intents and purposes, has everything that you need. But we are actually going to be using a special shader. And if you just click this, it'll give you a drop down of all the different shaders that Unity has. I want you to go to where it says particles. See that? And look for alpha blended particles.
Sorry, I guess I missed it.
Create material.
Yeah, image became a material?
Not yet, no. You're creating a new material. So just create an empty material. So, and then when you switch your shader, your material should now look like this. And all it wants is a texture. You see that? It says none texture. So you could probably assume what I'm going to do next. I'm going to grab my texture and put it in here. And now I have my material. It should look like that. So you can make one anywhere where you are, yeah. And then you can change that. Yeah. Also make sure to rename your material to something like, you could always rename it by kind of clicking on the letters. Or like that. Alpha blended. Did you make the material?
Yeah.
I guess I have the animation. I keep on recording. How can I change pages?
So okay, so we have our texture, we have our material. Now we have to create a particle system. It's as easy as just going up into game object, because a particle system is a game object. It's game object, and then right here you see particle system. Create one, and you should get something like this. These kind of white little spheres just kind of flying up. So some of you may assume what's going to happen next, but we're basically going to convert those white little spheres into our new fire material. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take this particle system and just pull it somewhere where you can work with it in front of you so you can see it. Make sure you can see the origin of it. Something like this. you'll notice now that when you click the particle system on the inspector, there's a lot of settings here for a particle system. The first one that I want you to change is if you just scroll all the way down on the particle system, renderer. You see that last check mark? Just click the letters renderer to open that tab. And you'll see the material is default particle. So we don't want that. We want our fire material that we just created in there. So we want to drag that where it says default particle. Now be careful, because sometimes if you click the material, the particle system window will go away. So just click over here like particle system, and then you could just kind of drag it in the renderer. So mine looks like this right now, but we're gonna make it look a lot better.
Is this only used just for fire?
No, you could use it for smoke. You could use it for a lot of other things. But I'm just gonna show you right now how to do it with fireball. So just scroll all the way down. The particle system is very big. There's a lot of components. Yeah, so go all the way down to the renderer. Open that. Not the check mark. You want to keep it up. You want to open that. See the renderer, if you want to check it, then it doesn't render anymore. So you want to change the renderer's material. So you grab the new material we just created and you drag it from there and there. That's the texture. So be careful when you click it. When you click it, then this goes away, right? You have to click and drag. So over here, scroll down. And then just drag this. Not the texture. The material. That's the texture. That's the material. It won't let you if it doesn't
Yeah, my roommate had
You get it? That's the renderer is like it's the type. It's the stuff that's actually being drawn. So you're telling it, don't draw the article. Draw this. And we made it a special type of shader, which is
I have a MacBook Air and
transparent, basically. That's all it does. It's just transparent.
Once you use your MacBook Air.
Hello? Yeah.
I've had it for 7 years. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Someone will come right down. Back. Yes, so you want to click your particle system. So so that's the texture.
Oh God.
You need to create a material, right? So you have to right click and project. And did you already create it?
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so click the particle system and then scroll down to renderer. Yeah, and then drag that. Don't click it, but drag it, because if you click it, then the inspector changes, right? There you go.
It was just the material for
Yeah.
texture.
Just click this again. Maybe this texture, maybe for you, maybe instead of alpha blended, try another one. Try particles.
Yeah.
Additive, for example.
Not chaos.
Oh, it's too much.
So this is how it works. So each animator has to link to one object. And then
Everyone's got that.
this is only used to link, and this is just usually animation.
Yeah, that's the actual animation. That's the animator controller, which can contain multiple animations.
Okay.
So get the files.
Yeah, so how about link
Yes,
them
that one.
together? So double click on it.
Internet better now, right?
This one? Yeah. The icon that actually shows you still the box is the last one. Yeah, that's very
So sometimes we'll do that. So you just close it and just go back to Unity. Because you just installed a new version of Unity, it will do that until you restart or something. So just right click here and you can import package custom. And then find in and downloads. It's one of those bits I didn't want. It's one of the four. They're all the same.
So once that image is done, it's the next application. Then you can look back.
Wait a second. We'll do this thing. Oh, is that what he's called? I guess. So now let's make this particle system look better, right? So there's a few settings that you can do to make this look more like fire. And this is going to be a cool little exercise for you to kind of understand how effects are made, just in a very simple way. And we're going to create one very quickly. So the first thing that I want you to do is, if you just scroll up on a particle system, you see where it says start speed 5? It's way too fast. So I'll make it something like 0.5. And then it'll look like this. So 0.5, make it a lot slower. So our particles should kind of be cooking a little bit slower like this. And then the next thing that I want you to do is the start size. Change it to something like 2. So you have start speed 0.5, start size, make that 2 on your particle system. We're almost there. Then, now if some of you maybe just kind of look at it, you tell me like what's wrong with this particle system? Like why does it still not look right? Like,
It doesn't get bigger, or it doesn't disappear.
that's one thing, yeah.
The particles are too large.
That it could be. For me, the thing that annoys me the most is how they pop in and out. They just like pop, 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 and then they just disappear, right? Which is not what like fire or another effect would really do. It doesn't just pop in and out like that. It looks very fake. So there's a way in Unity where you can actually, have a lot of control over how these things pop in and out. And the one that we want to look for is right here. Do you see these check marks? Color over lifetime. Do you see that? You want to check color over lifetime on and open that tab. And what we're going to do is we're going to modify the color over lifetime. So each particle has a lifetime of say 5 seconds. So what we want to do is, if you just check color over lifetime over here, everyone see that? And then you see the white bar right here for the color. So click that and you will open this color bar editor, right? Now this is very simple, similar to Photoshop and other tools. If you've never used that, that's fine. I'll show you very easily how to do this, right? So over here on the top, here, see if you click like this, you can create a control point. If you ever want to delete a control point, you can just click that control point and press delete. But all I want you to do is create 2 control points, one right here and one right here. Now this is very quick and easy, but it's going to make the effect, right? So check this out. So you click this first control point and you see where the alpha, you make the alpha 0, and watch, now my bar starts transparent, goes to full color. Then this one is, we don't touch this one. The last one, you click it, you make that one also alpha 0. And now we have a bar that starts transparent, slowly fades to full color, and then ends transparent again. And look at our effect, right? Look, if I check it off, look what it was, right? And look what it is now. Starts soft and ends soft, right? Much better.
You can add color into that too.
You can add color into it too. The color is on the bottom part. So if you add a control point on the bottom part, and say you click this first one, you make the color something like very dark black. Make the second color something like bright orange, something like that. And make the last color, make it funky, make it blue and stuff.
To make the color key,
Hmm?
I don't need the alpha.
The colors on the bottom control points. So, and you can play with this. But yeah, if you already have a good fire effect, you shouldn't have to change the color, besides maybe making the first 2 control points like grayish black. But I don't want to do that for now. I kind of want to have these bright explosion looking effect. So that's one of them. Then the other one is the shape right here. If you open that right now, you can see that it's a cone shape. And now if you look at it, you see how it comes out of this cone? So you can actually tweak the width of this cone that you want, like this effect to be coming in. So you can make it a little bit thinner and a little bit of a wider mouth. So you click shape over here. Now we can also change the shape from cone to sphere. If you do sphere, you'll get something like this, but that's still not that great looking yet. So
The line doesn't go all the way to the top. What do you make it to?
what do you mean doesn't go all the way to the top?
So it lasts a little longer and the fire grows bigger?
You have to make the speed smaller probably.
It's okay. There's so many.
How'd you make the flames
Well, you
larger?
can affect
Hmm?
the phone.
How'd you make the flames larger?
Larger?
Like the first two things you did.
Oh, start size.
Start size.
Yeah. Start size could be a little bit bigger. Um.
Is there a way to make it so once it gets to a certain like value on the y-axis, it turns into smoke?
Yeah, you could do the color over a lifetime. You can make it.
Okay.
You can make the last color, like.
Can you turn it into a different material at a certain point?
Well, no, you would use a different particle system for that. You could do two particle systems on top of each other. So maybe something like this, and I did a size over a lifetime here, but you don't have to.
Just drag it out with it.
And which one do we have here? I guess like you can also do rotation over a lifetime. You can already kind of see what that does.
Can you make a cone shape taller?
Hmm?
Can you just grab that, I don't know, the cone shape? So instead of, so it's only changing the parameter of the entire frame. It doesn't make it vertical.
I'm not understanding.
Can you make the cone shape taller, like tall?
Oh, well, it's yeah, you can.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can grab by this middle point. It might not look that good in this effect.
It gets wider, but doesn't get taller.
Yeah, it's the middle point.
Oh, the very middle.
Yeah.
Oh, angle, yeah. There we go. Yeah.
So for this one, I would probably make the start lifetime also like maybe a little something like this. I don't know.
Fine.
You can also change the rate over lifetime. Instead of 10, something smaller. It's really kind of up to you. But you'll notice that they follow your camera. It's because they're using billboard rendering. So what this basically means is the picture is always facing you no matter what direction you look at. That's why it kind of looks like, hey, you notice that how it just kind of turns with my camera? See that? So that's one way of doing it. You can also render even your own mesh as a particle. So you can render a 3D object as particles as well, very easily. This instance, we're just gonna do billboard, but see, you could do different kinds of billboards. You could do these. You know, you could only do vertical ones too if you want. If you look at it from the top, yeah. It kind of depends on the combination of effects that you're gonna use. I don't even get what this is. Stretched billboard. Looks interesting. It's a certain effect. The billboard and stuff, it's in renderer. Yeah, so just play around with that a little bit. Just download Google VR for you. It's also in Slack there. You did? Yeah, you gotta download another package. Are you in the Slack channel? Is it? No, the rest one. Are you using Unity 5.6 right now? Yeah. Yeah. And just open the Google VR for Unity. Those are the ones you guys installed them? Java and Android?
Yeah, the other one's
You installed
We
it?
already had Android on there. I never seen it replaced.
Okay, yeah, so that it does that sometimes, so just close it, because the package wants to open another Unity, so just open Unity, and you can right click in there, and import package. You can do it like manually, like that custom package. And then go to the desktop and find that. Google VR, yeah. So do that, and what else? Yeah, just import that. And then also let me check if you just hold like this. Usually it's good to open Android Studio at least once. I do not have, that's okay.
What was the press that we added the, I love it, it's great. I'm trying to figure it out.
I'm a little bit worried about my human now, because of that situation.
You should probably rename it. Maybe that's what
And then other than that, I'll get you both up to speed with the animator and the new particle system. So, yeah, just get yourself set up.
Cool.
That's right.
Okay, so another package.
So you see how I had like the door right here for this one? So do the same thing. So copy a box like that in front of the spheres there. You see that? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to do the animation. You see how it animates up and then it releases the sphere down. See? So just set up a box just like that. I'm not in play mode, but in
So many options.
and just copy one, and you can put another texture on it off the internet if you find to differentiate it. So now, if you already kind of did your fire and you're happy with it, see some good looking fires over here. Better than mine even. It really depends on the texture that you use. It's that easy to do the same for smoke. You could just grab this particle system. Well, actually, before we do that, if I just go on Google, and this time I'm gonna look up smoke PNG, and same thing. Find a smoke image that's transparent and is completely like surrounded, not clipped in any way. Like this is not a good one, for example. You know, this is not a good one, or it's questionable. But yeah, grab one that you like. Pull it into Unity. And if you remember how the steps went before, you create a material. Oops. You right click, create material. This time you call this one smoke. You change the shader. Instead of standard, you go to particles, alpha blended. You put your smoke material that you downloaded in there. And then you take your particle system, you copy it, make another particle system, and you scroll down, and instead of a fire material in the second one, you put your new smoke material on it. And now you have fire and smoke. Mine doesn't look too great, but it's alright. So yeah, so now the way this works, right? So if you click on the, I'm going to show you how to do the animation first, right? So just go zoom in a little bit closer to the, just so I can see it. Yeah, and then go to Window and open the animation. Yeah, that one. So pull that kind of down here so you can see it. Not that, just kind of the window on top. Yeah, just pull it and then kind of stretch it so it's a timeline. And just make this smaller so you can see what you're seeing. Yeah, and then just pull it up. Yeah, just like that. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna create. So every time you have an object selected, you create an animation for it. You call this like door animation or something like that.
Do you usually put that forward?
No. Just put it right there for now. Just give it a sec. Yeah. So now what you do, you click the record button to record keyframes. And now you do the initial position, so move it up just a little bit, just a nudge. Yeah. So and then you got the keyframe, and now you can move the timeline by pulling it. Like a few seconds later, like that, and then move it up for the second keyframe. And now when you scrub it, you see that? You created an animation. And if you just press play to kind of preview it,
Right here?
yeah, just press it. You can see it's very fast. So you can change the speed by lowering the samples. So make it like lower, like 5. Press enter. Yeah. So see how I stretched it? So now you can zoom out in that timeline, with your scroll wheel. So kind of, you gotta keep going. Just keep scrolling out. You made it very long now, right? Yeah, and there's a keyframe, right? So now if you press play, you can see that it's kind of the speed that it should be. And now if you do that, and if you press play on the app, you'll see that it'll do that. See? So that's kind of how you can create the animation keyframes on each of the albums.
What is the samples actually?
It's, from what I think, it's just using less samples instead of per second. Like instead of doing 60 samples per second, it's only doing 5 per second. It still stays smooth frame rate. It's not the frame rate. It's literally like the amount of samples it takes. Just go here. But it was good package. I'll flash over here. And then for the particle system, right? So just go on Google and grab yourself a fire PNG and a smoke PNG.
So I go here and today.
So no, type fire PNG. That's for this. Just PNG, yeah, just like that. Yes, grab one. That one looks too, but grab one. I prefer one that's kind of like grounded, more like an explosion type, instead of like a campfire type. Something.
And you have a smoke one. It's only going to have a smoke one.
That I actually use that one. I think. Never mind. I think it's the same one. Yeah, so just download that. Import it to UD. Do the same for smoke. So smoke.png.
No, the other one. It's only one that's not so you can see.
It's in class
Oh,
file.
you still. Once you have brain out.
That's not it.
How do you bring it in?
That's something else.
he downloaded
Sorry, game out.
Just pop in my flash drive, or is it already on slide?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, then I think we smoke it.
Yeah, and it's also looking at the other one. Would you like to say?
Oh, that, okay.
Yeah, for you, it would just be I can see. Yeah, control. Once you click on the particle system, and then you feel at the bottom of that.
Yeah, they do the same thing. Save the file.
And I
Yes,
guess we
it's class file.
smoke it.
Yeah, then bring in the part. Yeah.
So then I think we should here, right?
I guess I didn't put it. Yeah, do the Google VR package with this. Yeah, and then just get it from Slack.
Oh, okay. And then replace that with the I didn't attach it yet. Drag this one into pop it on
I'll just export this with the particle system and everything.
They are not welded together. Can you make them blended?
We're ready to do that.
So I got it right. Her. Yeah, I got it with the particles. If you want.
Just another way.
It's version 2. So for the particle system, and he's just going to import it. Both watch by time. So the important thing is now that you have your textures, right? You have to create the material for the particles for each of these. So right click here in the project and create material. And name that material to fire. Material.
Well, lifetime is fine, but I want to make it
And
bigger.
now the important thing is you want to change the shader. Click standard. Instead of that, go to particles. You pick a particle shader. Alpha blended is a good one. And then that we just want the texture. So you just put the fire texture in there. So that. So now you can go back to your particle system and all the way down to add renderer.
So it's going to make more.
You put this little default particle and put this new fire material you just created. Fire. See? So, and then there's a few settings that we changed. So there you go with that. And you
Yeah,
can
so
just
we're
scroll
doing that
up.
home shape?
And the only things we changed, we did like start size, the start speed, we made it a lot smaller, like 0.5. We don't want to just kind of fly up like that. Then we changed start size to something like 3. So it starts bigger.
Drag.
And then, now you notice how they pop in and out, pop up like that. So you change that by scrolling down a little bit. And go to color over lifetime. See that? So we're basically changing, so all of those over lifetime are basically like, that's a timeline over the length of the particle's life. So if you just double click that, or just once, yeah, and that's your color editor. So create, so these are keyframes, right? So on the top, if you click there to create one, and click there to create one, and then click the first keyframe, yeah, and make the alpha 0. So it's fine, yeah, and make it, see that? And I'll make the last one and make the alpha 0. So now you'll see they'll fade in and they'll fade out. Get it? And then if you want to change the colors, it's on the bottom keyframes. So if you want to change the color on the lifetime, yeah, the top keyframes are just for transparency. The bottom keyframes are for color. But that's so you can change the color at that point in time, for example. Yeah, and then we were just tweaking with them basically. And then I did the same thing for the smoke, basically. So I think we just press play. So I did the same thing for the smoke. I just copied it and I made a material for the smoke, and then I just changed the particle system for it. But I would put the smoke like right above it. But you could do it any way you want. And then just make sure to make a material just for the smoke this time. Yep. I think it's the first picture. Is it down? Oh yeah, it's normal. And then you could, well, actually that one. You need to change it. There. You got it? You need to click the particle system.
This is for the
Yeah, scroll down to render and just change. No, not there. Go to render. Yeah, if you want to change the material, it's in there. See material? Yeah. You didn't name it, you called it a new material, I think. Yeah, better now. Yeah, there you go. Nice, right? Now if you press play, they'll both play at the same time. So in preview, it only plays the one that you have clicked. You get it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Then you can tweak like the size and the different image and to get like the right effect. You change the shape, but it's all kind of in here. So you can really it's really fun. It's a really robust particle system. They bought it from a company that just did that. It's called Shuriken Particle Systems. And then they implemented it in Unity, so they have a lot of cool features. No, you already have it. You don't see because it doesn't show anything checked off, meaning that basically you already have the same thing on your computer. Yeah, I think that was the whole thing I had, so you should have it with you. Did you change yours to additive?
I think I did.
Yeah, so it's in the material, I believe. You click yeah, the fire material. That's a fire texture. Yeah, you have additive there. So change that to maybe particles, something else like alpha blended. Yeah, and then I'll try to play. So it should be a little darker. Yeah. But yeah, just kind of if you play with those settings there, they have some other ones. I think it's the texture that you're using. If you find another fire picture, it would work better.
What was I supposed to own
Google VR for Unity. Yeah, that, yeah, and then once you have that right there, just click it to import it. Yeah, and then import. All right. All right, so now I'm just gonna take a few minutes just to help out get people configured that are on Android. If you're iOS and you have Xcode installed, you're pretty much good to go. What I would want you to do right now, so just iOS people, if you go here, File, Build Settings. So if you're gonna export to iOS, I want you to go to File, Build Settings. And you're going to see this window shows up. This is the build window. So this is how you actually export to your phone and etc. So you notice it has lots of different platforms here. It says Android, iOS, tvOS, PlayStation 4, Samsung TV, you name it. Depends on which ones you have installed as well. But for iOS users, I just want you to click iOS right here. And then right under there, it should say switch platform. Y'all see that? So do that. Switch platform, and it should reconvert everything in your project for iOS right now.
Are you supposed to click on it?
Click on iOS.
Okay, open download page.
Okay, you did not install iOS for Unity. So if it says that, open downloads page, open the downloads page and install that. You're gonna need that, yeah. So when you install Unity, Unity asks you, do you want to install Unity for iOS? You want to have Android, whatever? Y'all probably just unchecked everything. So yeah, just do that right now. Just open the downloads page and install that part of Unity. So yeah, for everyone else that did download that, just switch platform right now. and then I'll come right back to Android users.
Oh, are you on Android?
Yeah, not for you. I know. So yeah, for Android users, if you click Android, so all my Android users click Android, and same thing. You should be seeing this and switch platform. So do that. If you don't see that, if it says open downloads page, you didn't install everything that came with Unity, so you have to just open the downloads page.
I have that.
Yeah, so just
So,
yes, just do it. It does it. Yeah. See, it'll just download just the Unity, just the Android part of it. You already have it. Yes, yours is gonna re-import everything. So usually it's best practice to set your platform first, because then you don't have to re-import everything. The reason why it takes a long time to re-import everything is because it basically has to reconvert all the files. See, if I just click this, it's going to take a long time on my computer to just convert everything for Android, basically. So it does that all automatically for you. All the texture formats, all of the audio formats, everything, it converts it to be used with Android. But for you, there's no difference on your end when you're working with it. So, and again, for those that don't have that, you should download that. Straight to convert it.
Yeah.
when it's done switching, what do I do?
Just this way, yeah. So, are you on Android? You're installing that? Yeah. Yeah, so for those that are finished converting, here's what you're going to do. Oh, this is a little bit, a few steps here. So, you're going to go to Edit, Preferences. This is just Android. So go there. Go to Edit and Preferences. If you're on a Mac, it might be Unity, then Preferences. If you're on a Mac, exporting to Android. But just Android right now. So go to Preferences, and then go to External Tools. Everyone see this? Scroll down, and then here you will see it says it wants to know where the path of the Android SDK is, and it wants to know where the path of the Java JDK is. Yours should be empty. And I'm going to show you how to write this in here, right? So click Browse right here, right, like that. And up here in the URL of your folder, freaking Android, man. You're going to type this, right? You're going to type this % symbol, okay? And then you're going to type app data, like this. And then you're going to do this % symbol again. Everyone got that? So it's up here in the URL. Oh, if you're on a Mac and doing that, for yours is something else. You're very special. I will have to come back to you in a second. So app data, then click enter here. So this is Windows only for Android. And it should take you to your app data roaming. Then I want you to click just on app data right here to go one directory up. Okay? Everyone do that? So now you're in app data, which is usually a hidden folder. That's where you have to do the % app data thing, whatever. Then you have to go into local. Then you have to find Android right there. Should be installed if you have it. And then in there is SDK folder. And that's it. And then, yeah, just that. And then when you're in there, you do select folder. And that's the Android folder. So again, if you don't see where that is, I'll just keep the directory up here. See, it's C users, your username, app data, local, Android, SDK. That's where it usually is.
Yeah, but app data is hidden.
It's a hidden folder, so you have to do that weird thing. I'm writing an article on the website too for this, so that you guys can always come back and find that instruction.
Was this right?
Yeah, you're all good. So now you're just re-importing everything for Android. Yeah, so for you, could you find where Android SDK is on Mac really quick? Just look it up. Yeah, just look it up somewhere. You can try to look it up too. Maybe you'll find it faster. If you Google it, just like where's Android SDK installed in Mac OS. I think it's in library.
I have it, but I might have moved it to,
Maybe you have.
it's in,
It's an application Android SDK. No, it's not.
depends
Did you ever
on-
even export properly?
Yes.
Sure. Once. I don't really know.
And because the newest Android SDK on Mac moved its directory.
There. Try to see.
Can you believe that this?
It's the Android SDK coding application. Or you know what, you can find the SDK folder, then move it. to
Yeah,
the
that's the
application.
folder. Yeah, that's the live folder.
That's where
Yeah. Okay.
So, did you download it?
Oh, okay. So if you did that, you need to run the SDK once.
Android SDK once.
Oh, you mean this?
You gotta.
Oh, he needs to close it.
Oh,
Yes, it's a save. Yeah, it's Control S.
that's the great.
Yeah, I think because you just reinstalled the new module, so you should
This
just
is
close
like
your
how you set up. I remember stuff like that. But if you
Do you know
want,
what's in all this stuff?
you have Android Studio.
Tab massive.
Yeah,
Here's the thing, I close them all, then to get back to
You need that. Just go through
Add it there.
if it's not in the.
For good measure,
just go online.
Do this if you're on Windows too. Just
Android Studio.
open Android Studio once. Just go to your Windows key and do Android Studio. Just open this sucker once. You should open it once. It does some first time install thing. So just open Android Studio now for those of you that are doing this. And then it'll have some setup.
Then
Yes, and I'll
after
switch
you have
platform.
it, you just install Android.
To let it, yes,
Then
switch
later-
platform. That's how you like, yeah. And now it'll do its thing. It'll convert everything to Android. Then we'll get you set up. This is usually the part that's the most difficult. And I know some other schools and boot camps, they don't even do this at the end. Sometimes they do it all the way at the end and stuff, but I want to show you how easy it is to actually export to your phone. Once you have something on your phone, I feel like you'll truly understand like how cool this stuff is. And see how easy it is. But there's just these annoying steps that just will keep most laymen away from it. But I've gone through these annoying steps multiple times, and you are all in luck. So we'll hopefully get this to work. Yeah. So for you, again, you should do up there in the URL bar. Click click there. Yeah, and type like this, the percent symbol, app data. This is how you get to the hidden folder. And then you go to app data instead of running. Yeah. And then you go to local. And then you go to Android. SDK. So if it wasn't good, it would say like not good. Did you find it?
It's impressive.
But you have it already. You don't? Oh, okay, that's why. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, you gotta do that.
So what's that string?
Oh, app data. So it's a percent symbol. App data percent symbol again. That takes you to the app data folder on Windows. It's where programs install their like your junk. That you don't usually, not even program files. That's even like deeper. But yeah, for some reason Android SDK, that's where it's at. Yeah, so
just to get it to run NVIDIA card. You know what I mean? Like these are kind of built for that. But now they're finally catching up.
now for iOS users, while you're all waiting too, I want you to, actually no, not yet. Well, for everyone right now, if you would just open up your project again, or actually I'm going to wait a few more minutes because I know some people are still converting. But I'll show you how to put the Google VR for those that are waiting right now, and then I'll come around and get everyone else up to speed. So click the Google VR folder. This is actually really easy. You just click the Google VR folder for everyone. This is for everyone. And then in there, there's prefabs. Remember that? That's like the golden folder. It's the one where all the prefabricated objects are. And in there should be this one item, GVR editor emulator or whatever. So you can just pull that into your scene anywhere, just as long as it's in there. Then you can notice that that object has a camera right here, none. So it wants a camera, it doesn't know which one to use. So grab your main camera and pull it in there.
Alright, I missed the Google VR folder and.
There's a GVR editor emulator. It prefabs. There's a prefabs folder in the Google VR folder. Yes, that's one thing. And then the other thing, so to have this enable for VR, all you have to do is you have to go to File, Build Settings. Now that you're already in Android or iOS or whatever you're in, just go back to here. Remember this? This time, instead of clicking Switch Platform, you're going to click Player Settings. So it's just a little like export setting that you have to just, it's going to be a little check mark that's going to say Virtual Reality. You just check it on and then that's it. So go to File, Build Settings, and in here, click your platform of choice, Player Settings, and then on this right side, you'll have a bunch of things. So go to Other Settings, Virtual Reality Supported. You see that right there? In Other Settings, just check on Virtual Reality Supported, and then in there it'll say List of Virtual Reality SDKs. You just click the plus and you select Cardboard, and that's it.
What did you grab for prefabs?
GVR editor emulator.
So my, I can't seem to drop the main camera into the camera.
Check right now.
You can throw it on the camera or you just drag it by itself?
Virtual reality supported right there.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. And then click the plus, and then in there is a cardboard. Yep. So now I think if you press play, you should see that cardboard out. You should put the function see it. Did you put the camera in the emulator? The editor? No, click it. What? Press play again. And then I think you can now. Yeah, it is working. So you can use Alt and work on that. Get it. But we'll get it up above the ground. We'll explain why it was underground. DVR editor emulator. And then you got to pull the main camera in there without pull it. Yeah, and pull it over there. Oh, not in there. Yeah, in there. Yeah. Good. Wait, did you put the cardboard SDK in there? Good. Yeah, virtual reality SDKs.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm still switching.
Oh, that's great. No problem. Did it just switch?
I think so, because it was like.
Oh, good. So you go to player settings.
Here?
Right there. Yeah.
And then drop my camera.
You can do it after. You can do it. Yeah, it's not like always. Like, yeah. So you can go to other settings, and then virtual reality supported right there. Just check that out. And then click the plus and add cardboard. And now you can do that thing, yeah. So it's in Google VR folder, prefabs. You're still converting, so.
I'm converting, but for whatever reason, I couldn't drop the main camera.
Because you still are not in the right platform. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it should work after that.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so today we're mostly just today's a day of configuration, because once we get this out of the way and our platforms are ready to export, then it's all smooth sailing. Today is probably going to be the most annoying day with all this. So just bear with it, yeah.
So I switched it and then,
Okay, so now go to player settings.
yeah.
Where did they go? This way?
I think the
Virtual reality supported. Now, see that right there? It's a check mark. Below.
No, if it's fine.
Virtual reality supported. Yeah, you're hovering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there. And then click the plus and put cardboard.
Okay.
Yes. And then on the other end, go pull that GVR editor
Yeah.
free tab. You see where the preference. And that one, you already have that. And then click that. Let me see. Yeah, good.
That's all it is.
Better?
I kind of want to give these to my grandma. I think so.
Don't you put the book right in your face, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm serious. She could read it.
Menu.
Yeah.
Hmm?
No, it's still she lost my main camera into my camera. It's not allowing me. This is cool. So if I go back to the
I think you gotta drag this editor into the table.
Oh, yeah. You gotta drag it into the scene. My bad. Yeah, but that's it still in the project.
Okay.
You gotta make the object in the scene. Yeah.
Anywhere?
Yeah, anyway, it's fine. It's more of a manager object. Yeah, and now that one, that's where you drag. You get it? Not here. It's not yet in the program. You get what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So now you can pull the main camera. So don't click it. Yeah, you just kind of drag. No. That's you dragging yourself into it. Yeah, see? Yeah, you got it.
I feel like that's I feel like that's an ad for something.
That's all you need for VR?
Pretty much.
That's a good way to show it.
Yeah. I should use that. Steady?
So, go to build.
Yeah. Oh, I thought, like, I was interacting with them on my face, yeah.
They work really well, and they work under the form factors, and the VR looks very crisp with it. It can look even better than Samsung Gear sometimes. So
Player settings, like the VR support.
now you might notice when you're in here now, if you press play in your scene, you might notice that your game camera goes like. Well, actually, did I not do it? Right? I did, but your game camera might not go where your camera originally you placed it. So the reason is, and this is it's a technical thing of Google VR, but what happens is it always centers your head at 0. So that's why the camera might be showing up underground or something like that when you press play, is because now that you made it a cardboard camera, it's always placing it at 0. So what we have to do is we have to create a parent object that the camera is ahead of, basically. So this is how you do it, right? Very simple. So I want you to create right here a new game object. You go to game object, 3D object, capsule. So make a capsule, just like this, like a pill. Okay. And this is going to be our player body, per se. We can call it that. So, pull it kind of like to the ground, wherever you want your player to be. And then all you have to do is take the main camera. So, you see how I have this? Now, before you do that, let's rename this capsule to player, okay? So, important. So, rename that so that we can always find it later. This is now called player. Everyone got that? Then, so instead of, we could grab the main camera and pull it here to the player, but that's like a very slow way of doing it. You could do it that way, but a quicker way of doing it is you can take the main camera here in the hierarchy and make it a child object of the player just by dragging into it, like in the hierarchy. So this list, see, all I did was I dragged the main camera in it, and see, now I became part of it, basically.
Is the player the capsule?
Yeah.
You just renamed
I renamed capsule the player, yeah. So now that main camera is a child object of player, if I move the player, the camera moves with it. Because they're basically parented. But now the easiest way to center the camera right on our player, since a main camera now is a child object of the player, all of this here, so if you click the camera, this position is a relative position to where the player is. So all you have to do is make this 0. If you make the position X, Y, and Z 0, and it puts it right in the capsule. So it's a very quick way of like placing it there. Is once an object is a child object of another object. I know that's a mouthful, but like, just think of it like it just since this is now inside it, you see that? Now that inherits all the position of the object above it. So in order to get this right in the middle of the object, you just make its position 0, and it will just like zoop, it'll just go right in the capsule like that. And that's just a quick way of centering objects in another object.
I got PBS, I got it.
No, you don't drag it in. You already installed it.
Oh.
That's
No.
That's the Unity package. You can delete that. And that's just you get it. That's the Unity package, which is like the zip file. You don't drag that into. You go into the Google VR for instance, and it prefabs. Yeah, that's not dragging. Yeah, basically. So you can do it in the scene. Just pull that in, and then you can put the camera in there. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Now, try to do that go up to the Unity icon. Not yet. No. If you go up to the Unity, yeah, there, Unity preferences. Yeah. Let's try to do this external tools browse. Is it in applications? Android. It's always safe to open it once too. You want to just open Android Studio, just since you install it, just kind of like yeah, Android. Sorry. Is it that? So choose. We'll do this, and you just open Android Studio, just in mass, just as the program itself. So it does its initial complete stuff, and then we'll do it in Unity. So yeah, just open it in Finder or whatever it's called.
Then you look more up, and then you look down.
Isn't that how you do it?
But
No,
if you're
Mac
behind the plane, you can't quite see the texture because the texture is only on what single side shot.
Oh.
That's right.
I thought you did.
But you can't open it like that. You gotta do it in application.
Yeah, that's what you do.
To do the initial opening. And then the last thing, so if you once your main camera is in the player, put it like above it. Like act like it's the head, right? Make sense? It's kind of like just like so. Then our player, if you click it, we don't want the actual capsule visible. We just want like the shape. So turn off the mesh renderer on player. So if you click player, if you just turn off the mesh renderer, see that? It will just turn off the capsule. It's right there.
So even when you're in it, you won't see it?
Yeah. I just want the collider of the capsule. Yeah, just click the player. It's a component of player. There you go. You should be able to do that on the YouTube. Let's do the Android stuff. Yeah, so pull it a little bit up. The camera. Oh no, not the player. The camera in the player. Also, it seems like the player is rotated weird. So put the player here, and you see the rotations are very, very weird. Yeah, that would make it really easy. So now when you have this new player object with the camera in it, when you press play, in here in your game view, if you just have your mouse down here in the game view, you can hold Alt to look around, to do like a free look inside your game. So this is basically simulating what your headset will do. So when you're doing this Alt and looking around, see the spheres even hit me and stuff. So now there's just a few more steps, but we're getting close to building. So then the other thing that you have to do, so this again, Android users, if you go over here to the preferences again, so edit preferences, external tools, now we have to put where the location of Java is. Now all the iOS users, I believe you have everything you need to build. So I'm actually going to start you guys on your Xcode stuff while the Android people are finding their Java. So Java is right here. It's in C, program files, Java, and then in there is Java JDK. That's the folder. So if you just go here in external tools and see it's in program files, Java, JDK, and then you select that folder, and then that should be good.
This IL2CPP, is that the button? So it requires that you have Android MDK on the bottom of
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. So your SDK, you need to go to
You're in play mode right now.
yeah. So we'll do it on my phone. So yeah, to find the Android up here, you have to go into hidden folder. Data. Now you're in this app data folder, which is usually hidden on your computer. So instead of going to roaming, you go back to app data and you go local. And in there is the Android that fixes it. You select that folder. And then the second one is Java, for the browsers. That's usually where we start with program browsers. Can you go in the might have to install it.
Where you can look around,
These will remove the camera.
Yeah, so I think that simulates how you type.
Go through it, yes.
when something comes in.
Yeah, so I think my Android's already doing that now. Alright, iOS users, this is what I want you to do, right? So you're gonna build, okay? Now take your phone, plug it into your computer. I know. That's why I want them to get started on what you're going to help them with. Your phone cable. Android users you have to go into default. You have to get so you have to go into settings. And you go all the way down to like default phone, and then you find the build number. Click it. Anyway, so now you're in development mode. So now when you can go to developer options here, and as USB debugger here. Click the build number. Yeah.
And you wanna like, every time you look at Beyonce, she grows. No, I don't know.
Yes, so just when you see this focus USB charger to your device, click there.
Right. So, you have to open that when you go into the movie. I guess it's reading that off.
So how would you like
I think I already did. You did? But if you did, it will pop up.
It comes
It's
over.
good. Yeah.
So now try, just go to file. Go to file. Build setting. And then
I think you select
back to
instrument.
Right.
Yeah, you're open.
Okay.
Add open scene, and then build them out. And then
So
save the APK
Yeah,
file.
no, yeah, I get it.
Save.
You wanna like.
The APK files like the Android. Okay, so yeah, that's another thing. So you have to go. Yeah, so
I guess you.
one more thing for
With the.
Android people. A what? I just have the regular one, yeah. Here's this one. Yeah, so one other thing for Android users, it's a specific Android version. So you have to go to Android player settings, and then down here, it should be like minimum API level. Right here, it usually starts with Jelly Bean. You want it to be Kit Kat.
Oh, so you don't.
So on Android 4.4, Kit Kat. There.
Do you have an extra Android
Android phones or Android cables?
or phone or anything?
I have a phone, yeah, that we can use in class.
Yeah. Instead of the file later, then you have to restart Unity. Whatever you did. You already did it?
See, that's the same thing.
So why is it, did you restart Unity? Do you want to try restart it? Because it's not showing up.
So I save it before I do it?
Yeah.
Should be in library, the library. And
Yeah, just
user. I think that's in
It
user.
tells you to download it and it says
It's in your
you
user,
have
I
it.
think. How do you go
So I
there?
make yourself repeat, sorry.
It's okay.
But go to applications, go back up.
But once you have
Look in
this
there.
figured out, it will be amazing. You'll be able to just express everything. Not this one here. So you go to Unity file,
Just,
build settings.
Just try it, look through a few more things online, but I will
Oh,
find
you
it for you.
haven't either. You got it.
No, it's not that hard. There's definitely a few parts. Just,
Restart Unity.
yeah, guys, seriously, just go on Google and look for it. There's definitely like the first few results tell you how to do it on Mac. But have to make sure that you ask them for Macs.
I think that's how you do it out. I did download the Unity file, but it's still telling me to download it.
Did you close Unity and open it again? Yeah, you have to do that. What happened to your computer?
I didn't put the base, I have to restart it.
Oh, okay. So,
You saw it, right?
you're both exporting
Oh,
files?
see, now you have it, she has it.
Oh, now you're not exporting?
I And then, yeah, just click.
So yeah, so just go to
Wait, do
file.
you have the?
You don't need to do
graphics
anything.
settings?
Yeah. Don't worry.
Go to
Build
player
settings.
Oh, maybe I have to.
Like
And
here,
then
you
add
have like
open
cardboard,
scenes.
yeah, you have it.
So you would, yeah. And then now, wait, you didn't.
Yeah.
Did you do that already?
I did.
Did you install it? And did you close Unity and open it again?
No, I did.
Yeah,
And
do
then
that.
remember the directory. Like you're
Oh,
saving
called
it
it.
inside this file.
Yeah, it's in C program files. You go to browse.
Just remember where you save it.
No, not that one. That's the
Something.
second JDK.
Okay, anyway,
Browse and then it's in.
Yeah, so
that's in
like
select folders.
current build or first iOS build, something like that.
Did you get an error? Okay, so then you do add open C. Yeah, you already got it, and then build and run.
Then it's gonna
Yeah,
take a
but
while.
before you do that, let me get your phone. So you gotta go into
iOS build
debug
is way
mode.
easier than
You don't need
Android.
that.
Like you don't need to
So you go to
install so many
settings,
things.
and then you go all the way down.
Oh, now you have it, yeah,
to
then
buttons.
just click the.
Oh, you're already in it, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you already got it.
No, you can
Yeah,
build.
so you should
build.
so
Just
save your
in the
APK
export
file like
folder.
test or whatever you
You
want.
don't have to save anything, just build.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah. And then you run it later.
No, that's Unity.
It'll move it to your phone automatically. And then just let it build. And then it might do an error, but once it gives you the error, then I'll know how to troubleshoot.
Free development
I think it
account.
just keep.
Like,
That's basically how it works. Then you
about
just-
it, they'll
every
like
time-
allow you to one app.
Yeah, yes, allow,
Like,
yeah.
one time.
So you have to
If
allow
upload
on
a
your
new
phone.
app, the old app wouldn't open. And they like, if you uploaded like a month ago and you haven't been updated,
So
and you're
are
trying to
you-
show someone the app you made, it's just gonna quit on you because you have a free development.
We're gonna do the.
So you have to buy
Development account is like $99 for the year, but that one allows you to like upload as many apps as you want.
I have one that
If I
will.
make a one
Chris pronunciation.
PR project, then I can just.
Yes, so you.
Yes.
That sucks.
It's,
Did you do the-
yeah,
yes,
that's
you
how
have to switch
Apple's really big deal.
Jelly
Like
bean?
for Android, you can export as many as you
That's the
want.
minimum.
Okay, so I got the iOS bill.
And then-
Yeah, and then you go to the inside
Build and
the-
run so that it puts it on
You see
phone
this
right away.
one export.
You just do build and it just gives you the file.
So open that. That's gonna open Xcode for
You
you.
have a fire exercise.
And you don't need to know Xcode. Use this. You just need to. So one thing here, you see it's generic iOS OS. Change that to your iPhone. That's one thing. And the other thing is go to click your Unity icon.
Yeah, just give it, so what's it saying? Let's see.
Make sure you have.
Yeah, and then here you need an account for developer. So yeah, if you have a developer account, that would be really easy for you. Then you're all set to go. But if you don't have it, you gotta go to the like Apple page to register
Say
for
it
everyone.
But then you said you can only get one project.
You can keep uploading, but the older project won't work when you upload a new project. It still will show up on your phone.
It's not a parcel.
I have it too. I'm the first year in classes. They have an iOS class. Yeah, you can use that account. Or you use your, I think that account is more problematic. You just use your personal team account.
Usually it has. No, look at-
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
How to turn on
You
the
can go and go back.
phone.
Like, see here, if you don't select the team, yeah, it will come up.
It's usually what one will
So
say.
you need to also add it. And also here.
Oh, there's a, there's a fail to create a.
Oh, yeah, that's here.
Google,
So
Android
the bundle
SDK
identifier
path.
is something that you always need to change. So just change it to com.anything.anything. Just, it
Well,
can't
you
be
already tried that
company
with
and
the
product
second
name,
one.
because that's their default setting. Just every time you gotta change that. You can change this in Unity
It's
too.
not, check out the link, the third link.
Oh,
Yeah, I
you
just got the phone.
phone.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And then what?
Yeah, and then click try again now. Unity exercise, I think you need another dot and another name. It's like com dot something dot something. Yeah, now try again.
If you get it in, don't touch the wire.
Oh, it's good. See? And then now you can like build. I think it's already building, but
Yeah, I just like, once I get it.
Maybe it's like a hidden folder. I don't know why they want to like hide this shit.
There's also no app,
Oh,
right?
it's a processing, so I think it's already building. Just let it,
But there is one in New York.
okay,
Is
and
there always
then,
something connected to your phone?
yeah.
I have
When you
a-
open Xcode, it needs to be connected. Just click OK and it's done.
You pulled it in that time, right? But what happened when it was
But
loading?
when
at
you're
that time?
building from Unity to Xcode, it doesn't need to be connected.
It was like a new.
Dry everything.
But how did it open?
No. And you gotta wait for this to. When this is open, when this is full, you're gonna have the app popping up on your phone for you. The yellow thing you can always ignore it.
Let's try. Where is that thing again? The.
Oh, yeah, I would remember the settings.
Very cool. Did it do that?
So yeah, you could just go. And then
That must be
save
it.
as,
You
like,
have your
for the
account?
or something.
I will make you think that.
Yeah, like this part is always the. Okay, so it's packaging assets.
It's okay, this won't take that long. It's gonna be like.
Sometimes it can take too long and it might be a bug.
After this,
Let's see.
let's go to Xcode.
Writing packaging.
Yeah, I don't think you better have a.
Oh, okay. So is it?
Wait,
shit,
wait
no,
for
it's
the
just-
process to finish.
It's taken a while.
Oh yeah, that's fine. As long as it's doing it.
Well, it did something and it's missing.
Yeah, so
Oh, no,
let-
it's moving.
Let
You're
it do
right,
its thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. let it do its
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Good.
Did you find the Android
You're still building?
file? With
Yeah, we just installed it properly. Yeah, go help them out. I think I just found the actual installation.
I can do it.
So let's see what happened to you.
Looking for the.
Hmm?
I have one question.
Oh, just
Wait,
open.
If I change name of the
Oh,
project,
Yeah, open
I
this
don't
is-
remember where
uh,
the
back here.
project.
But did it do it?
So if
no,
I
there
go
was-
change the
there was an
project
error.
name, then I need to go into everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How about you go to Android Studio?
The other thing you have to do when you do Android is you have to go into player settings and the package name right here. You have to change that to com.company. So your company, I'm gonna put anyworld dot, VR Bootcamp. So it should be. It's usually like com dot your company name dot your product name for the exported file. Once you do it.
See, here is your location.
Okay.
This thing.
Ah.
I think that's how.
Now get him Java too.
Yeah, I didn't.
Come on.
Do you have Java installed?
Did it work?
It says it's ready, but I don't know if I just.
Oops.
Oh, SDK, you just paste it right here, the string that you just copied. Yeah, should be good. Java SDK, you download it, right?
Did you give it an
There
error?
it is.
Update
Is
to
everyone
it.
still? Let me look up where is mine.
Is this all these things? It says change these settings. Just do that. Perform changes?
Yep. No,
Oh yeah, see, it says one issue, so just perform those changes. Whatever else you could do, just do it. Yeah, and now try again. Try to build again. It should be faster the second time. Yeah, install it. You just want to close iTunes.
The Dropbox actually popped up like, hey, it's right here.
That's why I just started my computer. It's
Yeah,
okay.
and then just put the browse.
Yeah.
Murder.
So is mine finished building?
Okay, and now
So
you
mine
can
might have
open
under the library.
that Xcode project.
I don't think we download. I don't think I downloaded.
Oh,
It should
then
be
you
on,
just click on the
is it
download
that?
button right next to it.
Put it on the desktop. Yeah, open that SLN file.
No, it's not putting.
Now it's ready.
Yeah, and then just download the right version.
Now it should be.
Right.
It's
It's in here. Yeah. So it's the Xcode project file. That's the one you click.
Here you find the one for Mac.
And then you open that, and then you have your phone, right? So then, yeah, Peter's iPhone's already all set. And
Yeah, this one for Mac.
don't change this.
Oh, you gotta accept
To
that.
something, dot something. Just change it.
That would scare me.
For what?
Having password.
Dot test. And
Yeah.
enable everything.
It's just funny
And then
because
I
I say
think
that.
the director should be
My
same.
computer. Somebody comes in my house, they can see all the
So,
messages on my phone, they can see everything. Unless you have that.
Oh, there's a one arrow.
We go to my house, turn on my monitor, look at messages, look at messages, you can see all my texts.
It takes to be at least 4.4. I've had the same phone, so I'm not exactly sure.
Foursquare, yeah.
Yeah, usually a little bit of a better phone for
Wait, maybe it's
yeah, I go to settings. Oh, it is the best. You should. Just if you have a cable, you should be able to plug it in. You don't want to be used right here. Pass it around.
They don't want to say.
That's actually good. See.
Oh, it's because your phone.
Mine keeps saying my
That's
device is
why I
locked,
think-
but it's not.
Well, unlock your phone before you start to build.
Yeah, it's because when she puts in her phone, I can
Should I have to unplug and plug back in?
Yeah, try it.
Go to the directory where you exported your file.
See, now it's a generic iOS device.
This is
Switch
your
that
directory.
to your phone.
Well,
Try
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Oh, it's still doing something.
And
Xcode is,
It's
or?
processing it. Single file.
where do you
I think it's
export
already.
the Xcode project? First, okay,
Oh, yeah, it wants you to do these changes.
Then it will open
Form
it.
changes.
Then there are a couple of things that you can do. Here you need to add an account. You have to, if you have an actual
Something that throws it up or
developer
something.
account tied to your iTunes account, then you will be register that iTunes account. But if you don't, you gotta go online and then register for it. You have it? No. Oh. So then go online and just Google register for developer account, Apple.
It works. Nice.
There's the charge for the
Yeah, put the goggles on.
No, the free one is.
Screw it.
Yeah, but you can only export one app.
Something, I don't know what you're
And it
voting.
quit
Maybe
after
restart your
a month
phone.
of not updating.
Yeah, then just put it on your eyes. You don't even need glasses. Yeah, yeah, just like that.
Then
You don't even need glasses.
Like, sign into your
You should
account.
be able to
and
take off your glasses and just put it directly on your eyes.
You find out.
So I think
Yeah,
it's
what's
this. So this is this, well, I'm not sure if it's X, but let me just check.
How's that?
Mhm.
Is it?
This is 8.3.
Right, it's pretty sharp.
The latest Xcode, right?
So
And now anything you build in Unity is that easy to do.
That's
Export.
same problem.
Yeah, so the app is you should see the Unity icon. And you can create your own icon for the app too. And yeah, and you should be in apps, like all the way to the last page usually. Right there. Yep. No, right?
I'm not sure if that's.
As I said, today is usually it's the hardest part because everyone has a different phone and a different computer and a different, you know, then there's people that have a Mac and they want to export to Android and, well, we got one doing it. You figure out, oh, you're in
I don't know how to
debugging.
change any.
You're in
I don't know
debugging
how to
connected,
change
so
any
that's good.
windows.
So now you should be able to just do build on it. Place.
Yeah.
So for you, it's, so did you install it? And, is it, yeah, Java.
I think
So
you should, the easier way would be
Unity again, let's find the app.
and
What's usually, yeah, so it's in your user?
I don't know.
What did it say? Where is it? I'm gonna try to find it.
You can set
No, let me see. So you see what it says you can use this command
Look it up.
to find out where it is.
What's the error it gave to you?
It's the,
Okay, so there it is. Alright. I don't think it needs it. I think it just wants the JDK folder. Really?
Did you register for it?
I think I didn't
Now you
actually
just gotta
copy
go
it.
here and then one more thing though before
Oh yeah,
how you like
Unity item.
provisioning profile. This is the bundle. This is the provisioning profile. See that ID from the company name that has this product.
How do you-
It cannot be used.
You
So
can't
you
open
just
it?
change this to anything. And it comes on
Right click close
your name, not your
Force close it
product
from
name.
there.
Yes, that will be it.
Nice, work.
Okay, awesome. Now.
It's in program file?
No, no, I mean,
That's it?
right
oh, wait, do you? Hey.
Oh, nice, you got it.
So.
They tried to build it again, see if it works. I've never had
You'll fail.
something again.
The library pods, Unity iPhone. So there's a library that's missing in this code.
Yeah, one thing, minimum API level, you have to change that.
Yeah, I never had that happen before. Did you install Xcode just now, or did you
It
install
will say
it?
the error there sometimes, it'll say
Weird,
minimum API level
Weird,
is low.
so
So here it needs to be written, the package name is com dot.
Oh no, I know when it's here. Do you wanna like?
It's kind of the ID file that goes on the app store, basically, it's kind of what they use for the package name. So then you add your OpenC.
Oh wait, don't force quit Xcode. Alright, and then here, function right to your now. It's not connected. Is it connected?
The last thing you
Oh,
have to
maybe
do is
maybe
have to also
plug it.
make your
Plug it
phone
again.
debug. Just turn on your phone.
Maybe you shouldn't quit iTunes. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't quit iTunes. Oh, so you want this computer to access information, so you need to continue for you. Because if you don't, then this computer cannot access it, and it wouldn't be able to do it.
I mean, this is what my phone broke,
Yeah,
the
I
same
think
one I
that's
had.
right.
This stopped working, so I don't want to force it. It's not plugging in.
Maybe when you get used to it, it's a lot
Yeah.
easier than setting
Yo.
up for Android.
You're where I was, and you're a week away from not being able to charge it. Back everything up on it. I'm not even kidding. I had the same exact phone, and I thought the same thing. It's getting harder to charge it, and then before you know it, you won't be able to charge it anymore, and you're basically gonna lose all your files on it. They definitely recommend you back up this phone before it's too late. Because this is the thing that goes first.
I go to.
Well, you still have battery. And I'm not saying right now back up, but I mean, like, you probably were gonna charge it in some way, right? Right? So while it just still has some juice, connect it to your Wi-Fi and then just use like, I don't know, Google Drive or something.
I don't think.
Back it up. I'm just saying that back up your contacts, your messages. The same thing happened to me. I lost all my photos on it, everything. Just wouldn't hold charge anymore.
Yeah, that happened last
It's the same one, right? The Galaxy Core Prime one.
Well, I had a problem with my iPhone.
Maybe Unity is
Everything is error.
like I don't know. How good is this?
Oh, it requires a development team,
Does
so
it
you
does
have
it
to
run
set
like
up.
games pretty good or?
See, so it says
So
here.
my
You
building
have to.
because these two files are missing, I guess. Like these are the ones that you guys created, so we just looked up.
Unity is pretty good. I guess pretty
How do you,
big,
do you help him with the
big
development team? Because he has the error, like he can build, he just has to set up his developer account. He's giving him an error. What's
Okay,
happening?
so the bill failed because it's too library.
Want to see if it's either the wire that's the problem or it's just set like the version it uses.
Here, you need an account, basically.
Minimum
so-
API, greater than
Yes, but before
Yeah,
that,
but
you
building
gotta go,
before
go online.
No, I mean, but it was going through the process.
Just Google register for Apple developer. Then just tie that account to your iTunes. So it's easier how to do it, it's very easy.
com.company. I think you have to use that.
Do you know what this is?
I'm trying to figure it out too.
Okay, let me.
Let's see what other people can do. Then if like other people can export it, then maybe you can just reinstall, export again.
Add open scenes.
That doesn't sound
Yeah, add open scenes.
But yeah, I've never met.
Yeah, and then you have to go to player settings.
Let me Google it.
And so you have to do the company name thing.
Yeah.
So you have to make it, yeah, you have to make it something that's something.
I'm really good at that. I always find the problem. So I never had an export with this machine. I installed it yesterday. Yeah, I installed like 5 times. You did? It wasn't working. No, it worked.
And then switch that to KiCat. And then, yeah, you usually have to save.
Let's see.
And then-
project code and
And
build it in
then, yeah, just,
Unity.
just.
And build settings
And, yeah, I think just, you have your,
So just rebuild, yeah, just rebuild the whole, just make another build basically from Unity to export.
From Unity to export. So do I need to do it in Unity?
you're on the
Yeah.
table.
No, go to, remember where the file is?
Is it not go back to the same information?
Oh, it's here. This is your iOS build. You could delete this
Yeah, I
and
mean,
make another
basically,
iOS build.
let me
You
try-
delete this folder.
Get your.
Then-
Start over?
In build settings,
Okay.
you go to the Unity.
This white thing on the corner, it's really tripping me out.
And you get used to this.
This?
Bill?
What is it? Then, let me see, where do
Yeah,
you
that.
the
So you have to,
simulate the libraries?
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't do that.
That's it.
Okay, so you said,
And now you should play.
there's a settings folder.
Well, you have to.
Settings, okay, I'll go to setting. Check this one.
Oh, you need it.
It says that auto graphic API. I feel like target, is that what is it, target SDK, is that what it is?
No,
How does it, what's this Apple identifier, bundle identifier cannot be registered to your development team? Do you have to put
That's
something special there?
No.
This
Try again,
com.
try again.
I did. It says no profiles for com.peter and being profile. Oh, I think it's you have to do it in Unity.
No, you can do
This-
it there, like, oh, if you want, can you make something?
So there's a build identifier, and there's a contact company that, so does it need to match perhaps?
But I usually don't recommend it, it's fine, but just change it,
Oh.
just change it Unity, that would be all fine.
So it should,
Change it to whatever you want.
Yeah, just don't make it like something like game, you know.
so let's do that, contact.
Let's try that one again.
What's it,
Yeah, well, when,
Virtual machines.
You all figure it out?
I found
So I'm going to copy this, and then maybe we'll rebuild.
So you have to add open scenes,
Where?
Oh,
add open scenes,
I don't
browse.
know, maybe it's that.
and then build and run. No, build and run, not build. Build and run.
Build and run is just faster,
Faster, okay.
you know.
Save it.
So, can I just call this, or should I change the name to,
Whatever.
Oh yeah, wait, you should also do this too.
Wait, I thought you just changed it.
I did?
Yes, you just
You need to
changed it.
save it.
Oh, maybe you didn't save.
Yeah, do it.
Ah.
Com dot
Yes.
something dot something.
Click the bid folder.
Is this right?
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, that's okay.
It always happens.
Okay,
As long as they're not red, you'll be fine.
Make sure this phone is on.
No. Oh, it's still probably.
Make sure your phone's
A
on.
second ago, it was asking me for the JDK home file.
It's doing it on the computer and wait, computer's not doing anything?
No.
No, your device found. It's just debugging on here. Oh, again.
I think so like, I think they're still being downloading to your phone. I mean,
It seemed like when I plugged it in again, I wasn't very happy with it. We should also run. Yeah, just force. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, now
Cancel
it
it.
is. It's like,
Okay, that's it.
no.
If not, just close it all, and we'll try to open. I know what
think
it
it's
is. You have to
doing something
open
on
Android
the-
Studio once,
Oh.
and then it does some initial
Yeah, it's updating
configuration.
your phone. It's probably your phone updating your phone. And
When you
then
opened
be
it
on
the first time?
Or maybe I just copied, yeah, I think the,
Yeah, let's-
copied the SDK.
Just
Yeah,
like,
let's see.
give it
It
some
might be that. Yeah, just try to get out of that.
And today's gonna be the most
So
annoying
I
day.
got one red.
Okay. Oh, you have the same problem that he had.
Mine?
No, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
that's the
sorry.
problem.
What is
I
that?
really
I
don't know
think
why this is happening, this is popping up.
Having my phone?
It unfroze. Should I try
it's the Apple
reopening it?
Mac.
Go
Just
to
think I've never had this
Yeah.
happen before.
Android Studio.
When I, like, Googled it.
up here. Why don't you look for it up here? Isn't that like the start menu? Studio. No, you're kidding me. Go into application. Where? Yeah. Open it once, let it load. Then sometimes it has to download some extra stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the. Partially installed.
It's a good thing.
This is right.
Let's see where it's going. Let's try to restart. And sometimes that's also a problem. It can't pick it up. Worst case, if it doesn't build and run, you can just build the APK file and just send it like over the USB. You know what I mean? Like you could APK files are like it's like an installer for Android basically. You can
send the file.
Yeah, it's just what we're doing. Build and run is literally sends the file through debug mode straight to the phone. You know what I mean? But you can.
Without having to like open it again on that, pretty much.
Well, it's like it's a file, and then there's a setting in the phone where you can allow you to install files. I'll show you how to do it. But as long as it can build, that's the important thing. Now, whether the Mac can see the phone, that's a question of the configuration. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Oh, I think this is the updated version.
Just want to open Unity. Here's the new one. It might be something to do with the new version of Unity, old version of Xcode. What's the error again that you're getting for them?
Arrow, I'm looking it up. It's called Apple Mac O linker arrow.
I feel like I've seen that.
Try to build another version.
So here's what you have to do.
Change this here. To whatever.
Okay, do this. Alright, Go into Unity.
Change it right there, and then build another version.
No, not yet. Don't build anything yet. Go into Unity and then go to player settings. And then other settings will just up there.
You're trying to change the same thing. It's all good.
This
You found the same thread, I think.
universal platform and like,
You still having the same error?
So where do we, no, it's different arrow now. So it's a signing in.
Oh, wait, let me see. Go to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here.
Oh, okay.
You just always gotta.
Then now we need to build it. for
Also,
personal
company dot
ability.
contact link. I don't know why it keeps resetting it because you changed it already.
you have to save the project.
And then I think we need to change the
driver problem.
iOS device, the
Oh, no, you don't. Just click try again.
I'm leaving my phone.
Oh, okay.
No, we're good.
Do we have any iOS already built this time?
We had 2 Androids built.
Nice.
This is why I was
So,
very
no, it didn't work.
It usually should work easier.
It
on
should
iOS.
work.
Just you can never trust Apple with what
Right,
version.
click playing, it should reset.
You know, they can come out and be like, oh, your computer was from 1 year ago. Too
I
bad.
hope the other arrow doesn't come back. Did you change anything in the Unity player setting? Oh, you added a scene, right?
I
Maybe
read that
that's-
scene before, no, it happened before that. The only thing that I did differently in there is that I changed the name, remember? Instead of company dot.
But that
Oh,
name should
yeah.
already be updated here. I don't know why it doesn't.
I can show you.
Maybe it's the newest version or something tricky or something.
Anything is possible. So I think that's what the problem was basically. So when I changed the identifier from the
I think it's a
generic
build
to
fail.
and then it uses the same identifier.
Oh, maybe. I hope so. I really hope that's the problem.
Oh no, I'm in game.
There was the.
I think it's
How did you find
Oh
it?
shit.
That's right.
Yeah. Nice. Not yet. It hasn't popped up yet.
Goodness.
I think later you gotta change your permission here too. But once it's changed, it will always do it. If you
My awesome thing. Something unique.
Good.
You want launch?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the thing. You gotta go to your settings, and then general device management. You just gotta do that.
Does he have to do that too?
Yeah, everyone. Device
Okay.
management. And then here,
It's
plus.
some development certificate on your phone, some crap like that.
But once
His is building.
once you get it set.
Yeah, that's
set
the
it
point,
up,
is
you'll
to
be
set up your
good.
environment and then probably will not have to do it again. You get all new
Verify it,
stuff.
and I think you do it again. Oh,
Did you
I
like
think
it download?
Yeah.
I think you can just run it once.
Let's see if it works. Oh, nice. What is it in your settings?
Yeah, you gotta set up like 1.1.
No, I gotta wait for it oh, you don't? We gotta share one here. Let me ask you. Do you wanna give this code to your
Right now,
friend?
it's kind of
Can I use our plugin?
How do I get rid of that then?
Feels so nice on your phone, right?
Just do,
That's like magic.
It'll tell you, put that on the, outside. Go to the red.
Yeah, so she had the same problem that you had. And then what she did was she added a scene when export is really neat. So you still have the copy?
Yeah.
Right?
Same thing.
So you wanna just delete this build and then build a new one. And I think what you
Unless you
here
drag it
is
into
to
it.
do setting.
Did you use it yet, or?
No, I didn't.
You already
Yeah,
have
it's just
it.
something wrong with that.
But you change this screen to like the custom screen. that you
Yeah.
have. Then later in Apple you put the exact same screen. Just remember what you wrote here, like copy it.
Yeah, because sometimes some of these scripts aren't compatible with like the newer version.
Yeah.
And I
That is
think
very
you
easy.
gotta save it.
Usually when you install this
Just gotta do like the other one.
it'll be
You
right there
already
to
have
be,
the
but for some reason sometimes it just doesn't work.
Then you can delete like the previous one.
Is it fire?
Especially when it-
So you already have account, you don't need to make an Apple developer account. Oh, you already have it.
Well, I'm glad he's dancing on the floor.
Here. That's it, every time you build, you
Cool,
do
right?
something. And then you, yeah.
He was from my list.
Alright, so we're just gonna do this for a little bit more, and then I want to show you the music video stuff and what you're gonna do for homework. Hmm?
The same version.
Yep. Yeah, we won't do it for this first one, but on the next weekend we'll do the code for player movement.
Oh, okay.
Because we're doing input, and that's gonna be scripted.
Oh, okay.
Started recording was way on when we started it.
Yeah, so don't do
Looks like
build
it's
it
on
first.
site.
You just build.
Oh, really? You need that.
Yeah, you can send the file.
Yeah, it's strange, 'cause look, it shouldn't be that
You
far
wanna
apart, 'cause
have
look
But
how-
if the file builds,
Yeah, the overall-
That means it worked.
the barrel's way over.
I don't know.
it seems like it's not giving you an error or anything else. It just says can't find the fault.
It says.
I would have to
Write
use
down
the
explanation.
player sideways.
Then see how that.
Oh, no, it comes in seconds. Okay, so.
Where's your player? Different player. Okay.
Then your phone says.
Yeah,
Unless
just
your
build.
player got hit
And then
or something.
just remember we have
Yeah, I think this barrel.
It's an easy
I'm always updating everything.
That hit the
Yeah.
player?
But then sometimes
That
things
hit
will
the
be
player,
bugged.
move sideways.
Oh, okay, so.
Actually, go to your player.
When you were saving it, it asked you where to save it.
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
I think it's somebody's the project.
If you look at it, it's sideways. I think something hit the player sideways.
So, it's really didn't.
I know. But it's also strange, because if you look here, if you're facing the barrel, look how off it is.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this
it's
is.
like, it's like not, you know.
It's not aligned.
The two cameras are not aligned.
Oh,
I took off the collider on the players and put it the player. But
I can do more than.
two cameras are a little off.
Yeah.
wait.
Okay, this is done. I'm gonna go do it. Oh, no.
Try to export it from Xcode to see if it recognizes.
Shoot viewer. So
No, it's doing it.
do the QR code. Oh, I see.
Maybe it might be. I don't think it's. Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
You have to pair with a specific goggle. It's still, yeah, it's still not that. No, but it's not. It's not. No, it's not. It's something on here. I think I know what it is. It's usually. Oh, yeah.
I have to update my computer. It's okay. I have to update my computer and then I start and then.
It's okay, after this is set up, you'll be, it will be easier for you in the future.
All good, yeah.
I'm still getting the same error.
You still getting the same arrow? Man.
But it didn't look right. There's something to do with. It's definitely something to do with the camera. Where's your camera?
Just gonna put it on the side of the we're gonna put it so it's faster. So like there's a thread on
Is
my
it camera looking different,
It doesn't matter. And you're going to be turning your head anyway. Yeah, it's stretched for some reason. It looks stretched.
I think we never had a tab where everyone's able to computer. Because that everyone has an iPhone in the PC device for the previous classes. You got it now? Oh, is it the same thing? Ah, it's the same thing.
Really? So
What's
it's
wrong? It's
yeah,
like
he has no idea.
I'm trying to solve it for him too.
Well, the grass is stretched. Yeah. So let me ask you, so if I do anything here, how is it? I need to rebuild?
We need to rebuild.
Change this way to something.
So it's really hard to see because my camera is way down.
And remember later
If I want to
I think you need to yeah, same thing, you need like 2 dots.
Don't even try it yet. Don't try. Let me try to work that out.
So it's like replacing all the necessary files really fast.
This is building
They both have the same issue. Like,
How did you fix her issue?
I don't know. They just try to
see if I can fix it.
Yeah.
Those are my moments.
But they're both building right
Careful with
now.
those moments. There's a lot of moments.
It's rid of the fails.
Do you remember what did you change?
I changed the names.
Yeah, they both changed the names. And I'm running a debug mode.
But did you change the name on your Unity?
Right?
Wait for it. Yeah, they both changed the name in the Unity. So, it's running.
So I created the APK file.
Nice.
I don't think it's recognizing the phone itself, but
But yeah, if it creates the APK file, that's literally it. So, and then when you're in your phone, this is the setting that allows you to install like strange APK files that
Wait, I thought it was already done.
for the App Store. Oh, this is why. You should have unlocked, and you have to allow
The other thing I
debugging
changed
from the
was the
computer. So
Oh yeah, I
build and run should be able to do it.
But I think that's the problem.
It's usually something simpler than you think it is.
So what we did, we trashed this file and then started over.
I found.
Do that?
I appended it to a new file, but
I had like
he's
3
built
files
like 3 files already.
We did this right.
Okay. Okay, I found your issue. It's just the newest version of Unity has some Apple problems, so you have to use a specific version, 5.6.0, whatever. In any case, that's basically the process. We're still we're gonna spend another 10-15 minutes going over this, but we'll still have time the other days too to make sure everything exports and stuff. But I'll figure out all the bugs. It seems like it's this. You have to get. This is busted in Unity 5.6.1. You need to get 5.6.0.
I think I have the newest one.
Yeah, so that's why yours is like skewed. Look, I just looked it up. See, the guy has the same problem. See,
Unlock your phone. Unlock your phone.
and this is what it looks like. What it's supposed to look like, and that's what it looks like. So, and it's just the new version of Unity is
6.0 even?
5.6.0.
She has 5.6.1.
You don't have to do it right now. Like, we're just gonna continue on with the lesson. But at least you know what. It's just something. It might probably get fixed like
You
soon.
need to.
I don't know. Something.
It tells you
Yeah,
this is
definitely. That's the reason why hers didn't look right.
Rusted.
As for the linker arrow stuff,
Okay.
Go
um,
to general. Go
no,
to
that's fine. I just this Apple.
Yeah, maybe. Device management. You see the
Also, I'm
device.
sure it's something to do with the version of the
Yeah, trust it, and then now you go back to.
But yeah, I mean, in any case.
Should work.
Oh shit.
Yeah, she works.
Yeah, skewed. Same thing. Scale. Weird. See? Yeah, don't put it on because it'll make you dizzy. It looks very scaled. Same problem. It's because you're using the newest version of Unity. So yeah, do the same thing you did for them.
I
You
did
can
the same
see
thing
it,
for
but,
both of them. I don't know why one works.
Probably be better to grab one of the Android ones. But
Let
you
me
can see what it looks like. It'll look
check
weird.
her version.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a problem with the new version of Unity.
So I changed something and I'd like to rebuild. I think you just need to save on the Unity and
So you
rebuild.
have
Yeah,
the
save
same
in Unity,
version,
but
you
you,
don't even
yeah,
go to the project.
but you have to don't just do it like that. You have to you have to build again.
Right.
You can't just save in Unity then go back to Xcode.
No?
No, no,
What do you
no.
mean?
You have to. This is an Xcode project that was finished, so you have to finish this, save, and then you have to build this.
Build there.
Yeah. So when you build this, then the result of that you can. That's how it goes. Did it build and run?
No, it said the same thing. And also when I opened Android,
Maybe I.
See, allow, always allow, okay.
So one of the lead, like the first one, you do it and then make a video.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Say one more time.
So what happens, so you just need a very specific version of
I don't know why it keeps asking every time, even though I do always allow. Yeah, it's something.
Then 1, 2, 3, 4, then just delete all.
But if it built the file, basically then what you do is, so yeah, since it can't even find it, but this is where you go, right? So in settings here, there is like over here somewhere.
It really can be admirable at around. I think it's something they did.
Security. And then
When you build, so you build in
unknown
Unity and
sources.
you don't.
Allow installation of apps from sources other than
No, but you just
Get
need
it?
to.
Check that on. Okay, and then now that
If you click
APK
build and
file,
run, it's just
you'd be able
automatically
to
gonna build
open
to
it
your
in
phone.
here.
if
Straight
it's
to your phone.
recognized as a
Okay.
phone. So if it was, I just get a little
You'd be able to
device
do
right
that.
here, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a driving stick.
But basically, then what you do is you have to get, I don't know if this phone has a folder, file explorer thing, file manager. It doesn't, but you can download one off the App Store. And then you just go into the files and you find that APK file and you open it, and that's it basically.
No.
Again?
Why?
I mean, like if you want to just test to get the working on your laptop.
They don't have that.
But in any case, again, we're gonna have a few more days to go over this stuff. So we're gonna make sure everyone's exporting by then. But I feel like we fixed at least like 70%, which is still a good amount for such a large group. Everyone with all different devices.
For some reason,
Oh, I think we restarted the computer.
oh, that's yeah.
Working.
Is it working? Oh.
Yeah.
So you just have to do it like on the chart.
Yeah, you do have to like mess with it. I don't know. Sometimes it's all these different settings.
Just jiggle the cord a little.
He's not saying don't. I'm not detecting Android.
I'm about to die.
Do you want to mute
getting this to attach
You guys have like.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Allow debugging, allow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then if you had an Android phone, you'd be able to do the same thing. You just have to enable the debugging mode on your phone.
Okay, you guys, and I gotta do the same thing that they did. Go through your settings.
Yeah, then let me back up here.
You just have to do different ones. You go to general.
Did the same thing. I thought it was just me. I just didn't know how to use it properly, but apparently it seems like they're almost made to do that. It's such a good phone for very cheap. Like you can like do everything with it. I was playing emulators and stuff. Yeah, I didn't need any better phone. I was happy with it.
Just go open your.
But then it just betrayed me one day.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's kind of for. I got it because like I broke one of my phones and then I just had to get up and purchase a phone. Use the phone.
Is Dango rooted or not? It
Yeah,
seems like it
it's
is.
skewed. I'm telling you, this skewed thing is just the new version of Unity is doing that. But we'll fix that. But we'll fix that. Yeah. I read that. Yeah, I read that. Don't even try it.
You can put your face away, but you can tell.
Yeah, but it's cool.
But it builds. See, it builds to your phone. So that's great.
Yeah,
You
so
all have your
see
own
what
apps on your phone, even though it doesn't work that well.
See that?
Yes.
Not yet.
Not yet, but
You know what I mean? Because it's just like,
Did it work?
It's like I'm crossing.
yeah.
I built the file. Yeah, and then open the phone.
Yeah, you would see it.
You built the file.
Yeah,
Cool.
Project called?
After all that.
Do it again, but keep it open. Keep this one open like this. Yeah. Should say something. Yeah, place it. Or is it? Couldn't find Android. Well, that's what it is then. It's just not. I don't know. It's just not picking it up. That's something to do with the phone and the computer.
You have to download a 7 You have to do it on
No. It'll be much easier.
You have to have a game tracking.
Your cell phone.
Yeah, it's just but it built the APK file, so that means it was able to build. So you have it configured for Android.
But your cell phone,
And you can't have it configured for iOS. You can have both.
This phone doesn't know where it is, you know.
It should have set it to that.
I don't even know where yours is.
It's generic.
Yeah.
No, it's called the New Unity Project.
So, two questions. One is also.
No,
I'm looking for a question. Okay. So I can't really see anything. It's just a kind of weird position to begin with.
Yeah, that is the camera.
It's just where the camera is.
So I've changed my camera position to.
You have to change the player that contains the camera. Not
I
just
did. So I took player and I put it up here. So when it starts.
I know, but you don't even see where that is. It's just, you have to build it again, yeah. You have to build it, you have to export the project, you have to put it on here.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's
No, but you already have it set it up. Now you just need to click build and run.
it's the same place. You just think it's up there, but it's not up there. It's actually somewhere completely else. See, it's actually in front here. See? You thought it was up there. But if you went around, you would see that it's actually in front of the barrel. Same as here. Okay?
And then I have to.
It's just skewed here, so you can't tell because
And then I have to.
it's all warped and stuff. But you're in the same place. Don't think you're not in the same place. It's whatever you put in here is what ends up here. You remember? You told me like I put it up on the wall, so why is it not on the wall? It's not on the wall. It just looked like it from this
So
angle.
let's say then if
See?
I want this to be seeing the entire thing, maybe I need to move it, turn that out further,
Yeah.
so that I can see the.
But again, don't get too caught up in this. This is just a test project. And I actually want to move on to the next part right now, since we got, for the most part, we got everyone building. For those that don't have it built yet, we will have like another day or two to do that actually. And at least we know for all the skewed views, it's because you're running the newest version of Unity. You need to be running 5.6. Again, but don't get too caught up in the details of this, because this all changes. This year it's like this. Next year it's going to be easier, less bugs, more platforms, and so on and so forth. It's just right now we literally downloaded the newest version of Unity, all of us probably at home, and it's just how it is. But again, these are just small details. The main thing is what we were doing earlier in Unity. It's that Google Cardboard package that we imported, and this player camera that we set up. That's the important stuff. Then setting up, our Xcode and all that. Once you have that ready, the other stuff is just version of Unity, version on your phone, and those things change. But the point is that as long as you understand the principle of getting it set up, new versions of iOS, new versions of Unity will come out, and for the most part, it only gets simpler. So it's already pretty simple. I'm actually surprised we were able to get most of the class building to their phone within 2 hours. But yeah, so we got about an hour left. So for this last part, I just want to kind of just show you what I expect us to do for homework. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna download a special package. It's the Unity. There's the music package, and this is actually on one of my websites. If you just go on unityeducation.com. So just unityeducation.com. Oh, what happened to our Wi-Fi's? Did someone disconnect me? The Ethernet? Am I disconnected? I don't know, but I'm with Ethernet. Alright, wait, I'm restarting my hotspot. If not, I have the file on a flash drive.
I like that way too. Unity.com.
unityeducation.com. Alright, I'm going to turn on my hotspot again. So yeah, for those of you that are connected to the VR Bootcamp hotspot, it should be back up again. Here's the music package. It's the second one, music assets.unity package. Everyone see that link? Just click that and it'll download a Unity package. Now this website is legacy. This was from the earlier times of our meetup, and all the stuff that's on here will go on the new VR Bootcamp page later. But for now, it's here. So unityeducation.com, and then right here, the music assets. Just download that. So everyone download that package. We'll just try to do nice. Yeah, I was actually surprised that worked. I was looking it up and my Wi-Fi first because it doesn't do that. When no music assets. It's pretty dope, right? I'm just tethering from the Ethernet. From the wall. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, so when you download that package, open it up, whether you double click it or if you're getting that problem earlier, just right click in Unity, import custom package. That also works. So open your package in this project. And import. For those of you that are building to iOS and you're getting that skewed problem, also your homework is to install Unity 5.6.0. So, just so you know. For us, it's 0.1. For the iOS users, they have a bug on 0.1, so they have to use 0.0.
Wait,
They're-
is that why I'm screwed?
No, you're not screwed. What?
They all exported already.
They exported, but they have that bug, the skewed bug.
Oh, that's only for iOS?
Yes, and with Unity 5.6.1.
No, I see. Okay.
It's totally screwed, right?
Yeah, it's just like, it's weird. But import this Unity package. And I'll show you how to use this. It's actually very cool. Close all the tabs.
You're not doing it because you don't have the.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. That'll be a nice Domino's game.
Yeah, so everyone got that music package imported? Yeah, import.
There's a combination of keys that just doubles the speed through.
You import that?
Yep.
Okay, go.
We got the music package?
Yeah.
You too.
Yes.
Alright.
I don't see the downloader anymore, so I'm guessing the downloader.
That should be it. So yeah, just make sure you open the Unity package and import it. So now the music package, you might have noticed it gave you a bunch of scripts here. There are these C and this like number icon. So that's C sharp. So these scripts are scripts that I wrote, and I'm gonna just show you how this works. There is a scene in here called scene. Everyone see that? Just double click scene. Yeah, if you're still loading, it's fine. But double click the scene called scene.
Are you in a
I
essence?
don't see the full.
There's no folder. It just like it's a package that I made, and it's not very organized. It just threw it all in there. It's all in the assets. So there's a scene file there, and so I'll just show you what this does, right? So basically, what this does is it makes it react to music. So there's these little scripts. One does scale to sound. It's right here. It's a component. One does rotate to sound. One animates to sound, and one colors to sound. So you can take these components and put them on any asset to make it react to music. And you can put your own song in here. It's just an MP3 file that you can put in. You can even drag from iTunes right into that if you're one of those iTunes users. But for us normal people, there's MP3 files. No, I'm kidding. No, I know no one uses MP3 files anymore. But say I just grab like, so yeah, if you just want to open the scene, just have the scene open. It's called scene.
How did you open the scene?
Just double click scene.
Was it just scene or scene to sound?
No.
Or scale to sound.
Scale to sound is a script. It's a Unity icon. Yeah, right there. See that? So this is your current scene, is objects exercise. Yes, double click it. Yeah. So
We all put a save file.
so you go all the way up to assets. Yeah. And then go down. That's scene.
Okay.
See?
Actually change this one.
Oh, actually, oh yeah, that is.
Five.
Click on music.
Yeah, I was gonna show you how to do that. So just in assets, just all the way to the top level.
And open up iTunes. You have some music on iTunes?
Yeah,
Yeah, just drag a song from iTunes to Bootcamp.
Okay.
And and then you can drag it into
We actually open from
You
iTunes?
can, yeah, when you drag something from iTunes, it just takes the path where that file is.
Really?
Yeah,
It's in
I
assets.
do this for like career, this for everything.
Oh, so
It's
if you
not one of
don't,
your
so
playlists.
this is a tricky way to have it.
Alright.
You should render like this and type here.
Oh, you don't?
Oh, but you have to have a song on physically.
Yeah.
So you can program or
It uses the reference card just to show you what you're doing in rendering as opposed to software.
You should probably have it like.
This is rendered.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Like graph.
Oh, here.
yeah, drag that into.
Right, can I just wrap up here? What is,
Yeah.
what was this?
You have to search
Oh, I
that.
So
see.
scene, it's just called scene. Well, I think this is, yeah.
Yeah, just drag that right.
Right there. Yeah, I need to close.
So, yeah, save her. Oh no, you have two.
It should.
Really?
Second.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I think you already had one called
That's
scene
even-
probably.
Okay, click down there. You should have.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
try to
click-
double
click-
click
click
it.
to get rid of the file. Or this one, that's this one. That's this one, right?
This one?
Try
Is
to-
that the name of it? No. Scroll up, it should be on.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be active.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so now let me explain, right? So say you have like a song, okay? Now, say you have like a song on your computer somewhere. I have like a DJ music in here somewhere. Stuff. DJ music. No. Oh no, it's in my documents now. Okay, forgot. Alright, so let's say I go in here, I put like a techno song. And like if I grab like one of these songs, just an MP3 file, same as any other file, I pull it into Unity. To change the song, you'll notice there is this music asset here in Unity. It's just called music in my scene right there. So you see where it says audio clip right there? It's that song. So I just pulled in another song right here, like that. And now I'll play that song. So it works with any song. Now, again, since this is going to be for homework, like, please watch this video again later and just get reminded on how to do this. But look, the music asset, it just has a component called audio data, right? So let's just create a new scene from scratch and make it react to music. I just want to show you how to do that, right? So, or we can do it with the scene we currently had. How about that? Maybe that would be more intuitive. So let's open up our scene from before. Okay.
Can you have more than one scene open?
No, only one at a time.
What about the merge though?
I don't know why it's doing that.
Is that like I didn't ask you this time, but does that mean you merge it into the same?
I think because the scenes are called the same thing, so then it like overwrites or something like that. I don't know what. I've actually never gotten that message. But yeah, so have your scene open like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our sound, right? Now, sounds are components as well. It's not the sound itself is an asset, but the component is called audio source. So it's as if the name implies, it's a source of audio. Audio source is the component. Now you can put that component on anything. You can put it on the grass. You can put it on whatever. But just for consistency, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create an empty game object. And we're gonna call it something like music, just so that we could have, you know, an easy place to find it, right? So, or not even an empty. Let's make it like a sphere or something. So let's just go to game object, 3D object, sphere. Okay, doesn't matter where you put it, just somewhere. That's where the sound is gonna come from. Okay, so you have your sphere open. Then all you have to do is in these files here in the assets. Do you see audio data right there is one of the scripts? It's called audio data C#, right there. So all you do is you take that audio data script and you pull it onto your object or your sphere. You can also, go to add component here and start typing audio data. There's multiple ways you can add it, but as long as you add the audio data script, and then the other component you have to add. So audio data is the script that I wrote. It basically takes a sound file and it converts it in the waves of the sound into just one number that's between 0 and 1. And then you can use that number to animate, to change color and whatever. So you don't have to worry about any of that code. It's just in component form for you. The other part that actually plays the sound, you go here, component. So this is all on the same sphere. Component, and then audio source. Just like that. And you see now it has a little sound icon, the sphere. It's meaning that the sphere will now play sound. So we have audio source right here, right? And then you see audio clip is none. So there's no sound in it currently, right? So now what I want you to do is I want you to take this sound file, which is this song, Zavison, or whatever. You might have another song that you're going to use, but all you do is you take this song and you put it into the audio source right here, in the audio clip, like that. You just drop it in there. And that's it. Now this sphere will play that sound file.
You have to put the source in a sphere?
No, you can put it on anything. Yeah, I just made it like a sphere, just because why not? Yeah, but it's a component. The audio source can come from anything. It can come from, technically, if a sword hits like a brick, or something like that. So audio source is just like a component that plays the audio from that place. So our audio is playing from our sphere. Now if I press play, it'll play the sound. There's no animations yet because we didn't add any animating components. But this is where we start. So the audio data and the audio source. Make sure you put your song in here in the audio clip. Now here's where the magic happens, right? So these scripts, you have animate to sound, color to sound, scale to sound, rotate to sound. So say I want to use something like animate to sound, I can take this script, put it on the brick wall, right? Just like this. Now the brick wall has an animate to sound component. Now if I press play, that brick wall will animate to the song. See that? Now here's the important part. So I made this component, all of these components, editable. So you can change the direction and the amount of movement. So you notice here I have the direction, Y is 1. That means that it's going up. So if I make that direction in Y 0 and I make it 1 in X, see now it's going in X. You get it? So you can use this to set up your own scene in any way you want, right? So just kind of play with these numbers here in this animate to sound and in the scale to sound and whatever. The other one is strength. So that's kind of an obvious one. The more strength you put, the more pronounced the effect is. And the roughness, the less roughness, the more it tries to smooth it down. See that? And the higher the roughness, it's more accurate, but it looks like that. It looks very jittery. So those are the main features. Then you don't need to do animate to sound. You could do scale to sound, for example. You put scale to sound, and then it will scale it to sound.
What is it responding to? The beat?
Yep, the beat. And that's the audio data script that I wrote. If you notice, if you click the sphere, you see the audio data, how it's changing these numbers. See that? See, those numbers are being calculated in real time by a little script that I wrote that basically just takes a waveform and then finds the average at any given second. And then it does that basically. Kind of the volume, yeah. The highs, the lows, the frequency. Yeah, like the equalizer, you know what I mean,
So you use a sine equation to figure out the average amplitude of
I did it even simpler. Like it literally, it does. You got like, so your average sound file looks like this, something like this, you know, at any given point. So these are actually, yeah. So these are actually highs and lows. So the way that a sound file is stored is it has like a value. So this is like, say that this is like a grid, right? And this is like in X, and this is in Y. So on this point, you know, you have 0. Then at this point you have like, I don't know, like 1.1. Then here it's like 0.7. Here it's like 0.1. Here it's like, I don't know, 0.01. Here it's like, I don't know, 0.6, whatever. So basically what I did was I took all of these, added them up, and then divided them by the number of waves to get the average of the bass. So this is the bass, this is the mid, and this is the treble, usually, in every sound file. That's kind of how it works. But you don't have to worry about the sound file editing and stuff.
One question I have is, why did you create a new object just for the clicking sound audio source component other than...
Just so it's easier to find, and you can just click that object and then tweak the sound, you know, change the song. The audio source, again, is just a component. So you can put that component on anything you want. In this instance, we just put it on a sphere, and now the sound is playing from the sphere, basically. And then at the same time that the sound is playing from the sphere, it also has this script that I wrote. It's a custom component, and then this takes the data from this, and it converts it into those numbers that you see they're tweaking there. And that's what's actually then being called by these other components, by like scale to sound. And you can actually put multiple on one. You don't need to just choose one or the other. You can do scale to sound and animate to sound. You can even do all of them. You could do even the color to sound and rotate to sound. You can put all of them, and they're all moving to the beat. And now this works with all the assets off the asset store. So go nuts with it. Use your own song. That's your homework, and just same thing. Arrange a scene just like how we did now, and yeah, I mean, if you want, you can export it to your phone. If not, you don't have to. We can do it in class. Yeah, so you just like how we did here, we just made an audio source.
Oh no, I meant like putting the actual...
Oh, the actual file? Just in the project, you drag it in, and it shows up like this. Shows up like a little wave file. See that? So Unity takes all the stuff. It takes MP3 files, wave files, OGG files, pretty much everything. But yeah, again, like if you forget any of this or whatever, you could just watch the video later. Because I'm still recording it. It'll probably be up here, but I think I sent like links to the video from yesterday. So it's usually they'll come up here in the news. So you have the video here from yesterday, and then by tomorrow, hopefully I'll have the video from today up in the same place. It'll be VR Bootcamp Day 2. So then you can just skim through it. Again, it's uncut. I don't really spend too much time editing it, so you just skim through it. It's literally the whole class, like recorded, just the way it is. So there might be some parts where I'm just going around helping people and stuff, but you can just skip through those parts. But yeah, and then you can create your own environment and kind of like set up. Now you kind of know how to do particle effects. Have some fun with it. Put some dancing characters. Put 10 of them dancing around in a circle or something. Find a cool environment off the asset store. Whatever, you can go nuts with it. This is really a part of the project that it's down to the individual's creativity and like what they make. I've seen some cool ones. So yeah, and it's not that hard to do, right? Doesn't seem like it's that hard, right? It's just like the same thing we've been doing so far, just arranging stuff. And as for the music package, I've tried to make the code as simple as possible, so you don't have to code anything. Just drag the script onto the object that you want to to animate. Yeah, and then other than that, you kind of already saw how to do the dancing characters and stuff. And again, if you don't remember how to do that as well, watch the first video. But yeah, so homework is optional. It's not like I can fail you or anything, but it's like, but I like seeing homework, and it helps you remember it better too, and also gives you an opportunity to ask me a lot of like specific questions. If you do your homework and you come back, oh, I didn't know how to do this, or oh, how do I add that? It's like it's almost like a free consulting session. So use it, do your homework, come show it to me, and I can help you with it. And yeah.
Basically, you didn't have to have the audio data on the sphere. You could just have the audio file. Audio source. That's the only thing.
You need to have the audio data on the same thing that the song is playing from.
What does the audio data do?
So I already explained it. Audio data takes the data from the song and turns it into the code that basically that. It converts a wave that's just like a very human readable form into just a simple number that then scales or animates.
Right, but then why do you need that for the audio? I guess you do need that.
It just, the audio data script, the way it's written, it's just written to take the audio data from the object it's on.
You need to have
So they need to be together. Yeah, they need to be together, and then that's when it works. Yeah. And then everything else just works. Yeah, you already got it going. See, it's easy. And it still reacts to physics and all that, so go nuts with it. Like when it's doing that. Even the physics object itself that's falling down, even that can scale up and stuff. So character's head can scale up to the music. I just open up his spine, neck, head. So I could put it in there. Right? I can make it more drastic. So it can be really funny, points if you make it funny.
You could have multiple audiences.
I know, this is very trippy, right? This is some
Yeah.
You can, but only one takes the data from it. The one that has the audio data script on the audio source.
So
Yeah.
underneath that, then you can layer in.
And then all the other scripts work.
Is there a live audio? Is there ability for live audio input?
I believe it would work if you could somehow push it through the audio source. I'm pretty sure it's doable. Yeah.
So then I could just
Yeah.
put that here.
Like you want to do like a visualizer or something for like a concert or something like that?
Or interactive art experience?
Yeah, it's totally possible. I made like a very simple script. Now on it, like if you go on the asset store and like you look up like a music visualizer or something like that, they cost money, $35. Okay, I made it for free because I want to use it in class. So I wrote it myself from scratch and I gave it to all of you, and I do this in some of my other classes as well. But yeah, since I can't buy this and then give it to you guys for free, I wrote it myself so you guys could use it any way you want, royalty free. What?
How long did it take you to write this?
The audio data script? You'll laugh in here. It took me like an hour maybe, less. Yeah, it took me like.
Sold for $15 a pop.
No, this I don't know. This is, but the other one, the script that I just gave you guys, took me like 45 minutes to write that script.
Did you write
Is
it?
that asset come with scripts inside of it?
That Visualizer Studio, yeah, comes with a lot of things.
Tons of different animated scripts and stuff that you can then drag out of there and use it for different projects?
Yeah, yep, with music, yeah. That's what that project is.
Are you going to cover that in class?
How the scripts work and stuff. Next week we're gonna be doing scripting. Yeah. So I will be explaining all this stuff. But I don't want to inundate anyone right now with like the specifics of scripting. You know what? I can open it up and just start going over it because we have the extra time anyway. But you don't have to follow any of this. It's more robust and there's more scripts are written in C# than JavaScript. So this is the audio data script. Now I know it looks like a lot, but it's actually not. So what happens here is I have the audio listener, which so it's a simple function called get spectrum data. What that basically means is it takes the wave, which is it's a spectrum. It takes that data and it stores it as a list of numbers. So then all I'm doing here is I'm going through a loop of that spectrum's length. So I'm looping through it and I'm going first. I start with the first wave point and then I write down its number. Then I go to the next wave point, then I write down its number. Then I keep going for, and this is what a for loop does. It basically loops this for each wave. So what happens is I have an average that I'm just adding into. So I'm just adding up this. So now it's 0, 1.1, 0.1. So I'm adding this. So now it's 0. Okay, now it's 1.1. Now it's 1.2. Then over here is 0.7. So then I add that. Then that's 1.8. So I keep adding these numbers. Plus, plus, plus. I'm just adding all the waves. And then how do you get the average of a number? You divide it, right, by the amount. So like if it's 5 numbers, you add them up and you divide by 5. And then you get the average of 5 numbers, right? That's basic.
As you go more, it gets less volatile? As you get more and more, you get less volatile?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So it averages out more. And then I end up, instead of having this, which you can't do much with it, I get just an approximate like amplitude at any given point. So this goes, up or down, And this is just a number from 0 to 1. So that's basically what this ends up with at the end, is a number. Just one number. So a whole song is reduced to just one number from 0 to 1.
So
and then
how did you decide the divisions of it? How far apart in terms of
I don't know, like it kind of like just trial and error.
But how did you get the program to break the wave up into each?
It's this function called get spectrum data that basically pulls all the data from the current millisecond it's playing. Yeah. And then and then I run through that entire millisecond and I narrow it down to one number, and then this number you can use to modify the x, y, and z of a transform. That's basically it. So whatever this number is whatever this number increases by. So then that's when you see the thing go up and down to the beat. That's basically the effect. And the same thing works for colors, because colors, the red, green, and blue, is also just a number from 0 to 1, RGB. And then same thing, you just put that in the RGB and then it animates the color. It's kind of the same principle. But again, you don't have to worry too much about this right now. But you can see here, if I open another one of the components like animate to sound, you can see here that on update, I take the starting position, I record that, and then all I'm doing is the new position. So it's X, Y, and Z. So this is X, is the start position plus the direction. So we have the direction that we set here. Right? Remember this? Direction. So direction here, Y is 1, 0, 0, and the other 2. So that means that this will all end up being 0, because anything multiplied by 0 ends up being 0. The only one that's animating is the middle one, because that's times 1. So start position plus direction times, and then the spectrum average times strength. And then does that. But yeah, this is very intermediate stuff, so you don't have to worry about this. When we cover the coding and stuff, it'll make a lot more sense when we're going into the specifics. But
Is there a directory where you can find more codes like this, more scripts on like Unity's website or something?
there's lots. I don't know any like one central directory, but
I just looked up JavaScript code for like animation based on sound and stuff like that.
yeah, I mean like you could, I don't know, if you look it up, like animate to sound Unity. See, I'm not really sure if you're gonna get. When we see a sound, we expect to hear a sound. It's not really it. But like, you got like. They used to have like a wiki. Yeah, if you go on this one, the Unify wiki, the Unity wiki, here there's a lot of. So you go to like tips, tricks, and tools. Tip of the day, it has a lot of like RGB values via scripts. I don't know. I haven't used this in a long time, but it has tutorials, creating a drag and drop spell bar. Very complex stuff.
C++ is like you can copy a C++ script into a JavaScript editor and it'll work? No, not at all.
You have to write it for the specific thing. But again, we're never gonna do anything this complex of a script. It's a lot of things here. Our scripts are never gonna be more than just 4 or 5 lines. And the ones that we're gonna do next week are gonna be very simple ones, just like press a key, move a ball. Like it's gonna be like 2 lines of code. It's just 1 line for like how to detect when the key is pressed, and another line for actually doing the movement. So you'll see how it works. But yeah, the idea is that a lot of this stuff is already written by people that are coders. Like for example, like the music package, which if you didn't know me, or you were somewhere else in the world or whatever, and you wanted to do this, you'd probably figure it out on your own, or pay $30 to someone that did it, and then just make your project. I mean, if you're doing client work, a $30 investment to get all your code done is nothing. Like it's pennies, especially if it works really well. And then there you go. And then you put it together. You get your stuff to animate to music. You do your big concert. You do your big event, and all it took was $30 of an asset to do it for you. But the important part is that you know how to pull it all together in Unity. So as long as you know the interface, you know how to import Unity packages, you know what a prefab is, you know all of this stuff, then you can start experimenting with other people's assets, with your own assets, with whatever. But
when you code, you use the mono something.
Mono develop, yeah.
You don't use Xcode.
No one uses Xcode for Unity.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always mono.
It's just for getting on the phone.
Xcode is just like, that's like just to get it on the phone, on iPhone. Yeah, because Unity can't get the license to build directly to iOS. That's a Apple only thing. Yeah, it's just how it works. But yeah, we still have a few more minutes, so if anyone has any questions. In any case, don't forget to install Unity 5.6 if you're iOS. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of your homeworks.